Welcome in, everybody, to Between Two Bellsprouts, the show where we attempt each week to talk about the stuff going on in the world of PvP, the good, the bad, the ugly, the controversial, and the fun. But today, we definitely have something that is leaning on the side of controversial, and I think it's something that needs to be talked about, but I think that it's also something where maybe the original treatment that we got of the topic was not particularly fully representative of the whole topic. So I think that hopefully we're going to be able to bring a more full picture of what the situation was today, and just talk about what it means for the game, what we all think about it, and just have a civilized discussion, if you will. I am going to try to keep the chat under control. If people can't behave themselves, we'll go in emote only mode. We'll go in whatever mode we need to. If anybody was watching the original interview on the Bloody Bananas stream of our guest, you will certainly know that it contained its share of silliness by the interviewee and lots of pitchforks in chat. So it got maybe a little bit out of control on both sides, but hopefully we'll be able to keep it fairly to the facts here. We don't, we can be silly. There are no words off limits. There are no anything off limits like that. But just so long as we don't get insulting to people, and we'll just talk facts, not attack people. Okay. And so welcome to Between Two Bellsprouts. And we've also got with us another guest. We have Wallower with me because, you heard my perspective coming in, saying that I didn't think that that the very first interview that was done was necessarily very balanced. And I don't want anybody to come look at this interview and say to me, Jiggly, you're just saying all this. You don't care about GBL. Like, you're giving this guy too easy of a pass. Why are you, going so easy on him? So, I've got Wallower here. He's going to be here for a little while, and my Bellsprouts. And, Wallower, certainly somebody established in PvP. He worked his way up the leaderboards by doing something that was not very popular in a very different way, by creating Grasshole. And he wasn't necessarily welcomed into our community the way that I would have liked to see somebody welcomed into the community who's just playing this game with us. So we have with us, it's two different names. It was Tuscachetes or Memichiflona. I know that at least one of those names, I understand, is supposed to be humorous, a meme that when I say it, it gives you a chuckle. But Memichiflona was the name that he went by on the GBL leaderboards, and he managed to reach number one, and he did so by his own admission that he was sniping other streamers' streams to figure out what their teams were, so that he would be able to hard counter them and get better results. I just want to start out by thanking you for coming on, and thanks for giving us the chance to talk to you. And why don't you, for anybody who's not fully tuned in on what happened, why don't you give your kind of simple explanation of what actually happened? I know you wrote a Silph Road post about it, but to keep it a little bit shorter, why don't you tell people your version of what happened?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, you can call me Tuska or Memi.
Okay.
Both work.
Okay.
First of all, I did not wrote the Silph Road post.
Okay.
But I think you are talking about the one that it was it was something about a group of snipers trying to get rank 10 by stream sniper. Some streamers, if I recall correctly.
All right. So that was just post? A pure coincidence, whether someone was...
Yeah, it's just pure coincidence.
Whether it really happened or whether they were taking advantage of the situation that this was going on.
I think they wanted to make clear that this is not the first time that someone actually has sniped other guys. Like it's not the first time that has been done.
Right.
And in the second place, I have never been coached on any stream by any streamer.
Okay, so that doesn't bear any resemblance to your story at all. Good.
Yeah, because I don't really support coach at all.
Right.
That's another topic.
Right.
Don't want to get into that. And another thing that I think I said this on my previous interview with Bloody Bananas, but people did not took the attention I wanted to make them. I think it was misunderstood because I stated that my main, let's say, goal was not to snipe streamers. I just what I did was use the information that streamers were, let's say, post or streaming from their opponents, right? Because let me put an example. If I go directly and I don't know, I stream Snipe King, like 100 people will be watching that, and it's quite obvious if I directly stream Snipe and a streamer. But my main goal was to really snipe the streamer's opponent.
Okay. All right. So you gathered data on the opponents primarily. So
yeah, I want to resume that because once I hit land, I started to do my sets normally. I realized that 4 days I managed to push by my own means to 3400s. So I was playing Open Ultra, and I realized that nobody was playing Open Ultra at that elo range. So I decided to move on to Open Ultra Premier, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, I spent like 2 days going up 20 points, going down 20 points, and I realized that I was facing those 2 days. I faced almost like the same 60 people, like with some variations. So I realized that I'm fighting the same guys. Most of people are using the same teams. So I came with an idea to actually write down their names and with their teams. So basically, I started to gather data, and I also used some YouTube videos. I remember I used one of FP Sticks and another from Psionic who hosted the Hustelian battles. So it wasn't that hard at all to watch their team comps and write them down in an Excel spreadsheet. And yeah, I started to actually, after to gather some data, I started to play the matches, but by knowing their team comps, and I was getting good results because nobody was changing their team at that point. Most of them were running like pretty expensive teams, including Skarmory, Galvantula, and all that stuff that you see in Ultra Open Premier. And after that, I decided to, I made myself a question. I said, what if I just play with some guys and I actually start to dodge some people just to try to get number one? It won't be that hard if I have the time. So I decided to do that, and yeah, I got seems that I got good results. I reached number one by doing that.
Okay, so you reached number one, and you're sitting there at number one. And if I'm recalling correctly from your previous interview, you're saying that, and just looking at the leaderboard, like you're not there anymore, and you say that you now are playing completely straight, right?
Yeah.
And you also said that that it's boring to you now, right?
well, after I reached number one, yeah,
Right.
it was pretty boring because I wasn't able to find a match. And the other thing is that if you are at the top, you are most likely to lose points every time you lose. So, I mean, your the amount of points that you lose, if you lose, it's really high. So it's not, you are in a position like it is worth it to play if I am taking care about the leaderboard. And yeah, I decided to just do 5 sets. I mean, no, sorry, just 5 daily battles. But it took a long time, and I started to get bored.
So obviously your goal at the onset was to improve your results by gathering data.
Yes.
In what way, like what was the, if you look deeper into that, what were you really trying to do? Were you actually eyeing the idea that you could get number one? Were you looking for some sort of personal gain out of this, or was it just the idea that you wanted to prove it to yourself that you could make this work?
I think well, part of it was like trying to get number one, but I tried to prove myself if it's actually possible to do it, because I mean you have the tools to do it. There are no rules to Niantic rules that controls that part of the GBL. The only rules that I have realized that exist are just moral rules stated by the community, which could be a topic to talk about later on in the interview.
Right. Yeah. So if we kind of turn in that direction, you say that it's essentially like, we talk about this all the time. There's a very moral aspect of this game. Essentially, people will take from this game what they want to. If you think that it's important to play the game legit, walk for every mile, not be in a car, not use a phone shaker, not spoof, all this stuff, like depending on what your perspective is, you're going to impose that morality on other people. What would you frame your morality as? What do you think it is that it is about your morality that makes you think what I did was okay, or what I did doesn't matter?
Well, I don't try to impose my morality over others.
Okay.
Just an example of that, I have several friends that play with the gotcha,
Right.
the stuff that how to catch some Pokemon. For me, I don't like to play either gotcha or Go Plus, because I think it loses some part of the, I don't know the word, but I don't know if you are going to get my point with, if you are not actually catching the Pokemon by yourself, it's not worth it.
Right. Yeah. And I would, I mean, that this isn't an interview about me, but I would have subscribed to the same idea that, catching them yourself is something you do, and catching them with a little device that's just randomly picking them up, it doesn't have much allure to me. I mean, I have one, but I pretty much use it to spin stops. But
yep.
What is it for you that makes you think, okay, it's important for me to play the game in a way where I'm really engaging with it, I'm catching each mon, I'm doing the work, but at the same time you're okay with kind of taking advantage of other people's I guess the fact that other people's information is out there, whether they know it or not. What makes you draw that line? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's a bit controversial. I don't know if that is the term, because if we are talking about in a competitive from a competitive point of view, you are right. I mean, it's not competitive that I start to what I did from a competitive point of view. I'm not 100% okay with what I did, but most likely I did it because I want to prove that it's possible to do it. And from what I have seen, seen from after all this thing happened, more people are doing are streamer sniper are being a stream snipers.
Did Wallower have something to jump in with? I thought I saw a cue that.
Yeah, I think that's probably, well, I don't want to. Maybe the best thing to come out of this whole thing is kind of the data collection on how the whole system works, and we saw it in season, I think 2 or 3, when Lawler Sox proved that there was a tanking multiplier and climbed and became the first rank 10. While that, like, the tanking was generally like slightly frowned upon, it was really good to know that the system actually worked like it did. It was actually a Glico 2 system and not a pure ELO system. And the other good thing about it was that this was obviously a big issue, right? Oh, sorry, I've got an alarm going off. This was obviously a big issue. And subsequent season, right after it, Niantic fixed it, right? Because there's nothing to stop people from getting this tanking multiplier and just shooting up to number 1 on the leaderboard. It got fixed. So I guess the hope here is that Niantic sees what just happened here with sniping and maybe does something about perhaps like keeping people anonymous until the game actually starts, or until it's too late to dodge or something like that. Because I don't think that the data collection, I don't think is what the community has an issue with. Because I know a lot of people out there, a lot of very prominent members of the community, they are writing down their opponent's teams on spreadsheets, especially those really high up there on the leaderboard. Like Memichiflona said, I probably butchered your name, sorry. But you just play the same people over and over when you're at the top. You don't even play. You play 25 different games a day. You don't even play 25 different people. So all you have to do is write down their teams. But generally, it's been like a sportsmanship thing to stay in. Like, I know I've lost to FP Sticks, I think twice in a day. He's lost to me like 3 times in a day. We knew exactly how those matchups were going to go before we played them, because we knew, after the first game, we knew each other's team comps. And in some cases it's a neutral matchup, but in some cases it's absolutely not, and you can't lose a game. But I do think sorry, I'm a bit long-winded, but I do think the best thing to come out of this was the information gathered about the system, and the fact that it is possible to kind of choose your matchups, which is something that a lot of the community may not believe currently.
Right now, and so with regard to that, was that something that you are glad to have come from this, that you were able to be part of showing that this is in fact a problem, or is that just something that happened and it really wasn't part of anything that you had intent about?
I am not 100% glad of this, but I try to. I mean, I never had in mind if I was actually going to hit the goal of reaching number 1 on the leaderboard. That was like something casual that came up, because it doesn't work like always. Doesn't always work. The dodging, or if the guy is going to use the same team, but at the same time, I think the system needs some. Niantic has to fix something in the system, because anyone can do it.
No, I'm guessing you're familiar probably with what was commonly called the Jesus exploit, where we had the ability to get the extra quick attacks in with a Melmetal or something along those lines to gain an unfair advantage. You're aware of that kind of hack?
Yeah.
And where do you view what you did compared to that? Do you think that they're at all related, or do you think that they're completely different things that don't belong in the same discussion?
I think it's not like, from a certain point of view, it could be related. Like if you want to expose something about the system, you try to do something very crazy to actually get an advantage of that flaw that the system has. But if you look at the Jesus exploit, that was like completely cheating. Like I mean, I don't remember what he did. Like, if I recall correctly, he used like 2 devices to get free moves, while the opponent was throwing at him charge moves. I think that was the exploit. But compared with what I did, I mean, I did not always pick hard counter teams. Like, I tried to, instead of hard counter teams, try to use like soft counters because if you, I'm gonna give some detail here about PvP, but if you actually use hard counter teams, you may create some scenarios where you actually can end up losing that game, because you are not 100% guaranteed that you are going to win that game, right? So, but with the Jesus exploit, like it's like a 100% of win rate.
Right.
I think it's not the same, but if you want to prove a point, it could be the same. Like if the way we both abused the system, if we can call it like that.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand whether you were actually trying to prove a point or not, because you're saying you're not particularly glad you got discovered, but you're kind of just talking about it in the sense of proving a point. Was that part of your thought process, or are you just comparing that somebody might try to prove a point in the way that you did, but that's not what you did?
That was not my goal, and on the first place, like prove a point, but I could actually say that now.
Right. So you think as a side effect of what you did that you proved a point, but it was never your intention to be that. So maybe you went
exactly.
into it as. Are you familiar with the description of like a black hat or a white hat hacker, or even like a gray hat hacker, where it's all about what's motivating them? Like, what do they have good intentions? Do they have bad intentions? Are they trying to fix security problems, or are they trying to just take advantage and get personal gain? Where would you say you fell on that spectrum? You were just out for yourself in this one, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those examples.
Okay.
But I think it was just like a side effect of it, like the good part of of this whole issue of stream sniping and all that stuff was like a side effect.
Is Pokemon Go PvP like your primary game you like to play? Are there other games that you're into? Is this just something that you're doing right now, or is this something that you actually intend to continue doing? And if not, is it because of the reaction you've received, or is it just you're kind of bored with it, or what?
It's at the moment it's the main play and the main game I play. I don't play other games rather than Smash Brothers, just for fun. Like there is no bigger goal there, because it's just a straight win or lose and have a good time. What was the other part of the question?
Just are you intending to keep playing, and if so, is it are you going to do it despite the kind of community reaction you've gotten, or do you actually want to engage with the community, or is that not important to you?
Oh, I will keep playing because I really like PvP, but I will like to, if Niantic could fix some problems, like to actually make the game worth to look at from a competitive point of view. Like if they, for instance, if Niantic doesn't manage to fix the server issues like connectivity or lag or whatever we can could be that called, the game won't be really competitive until then. But I want to keep playing Pogo. I know the community, after what I did, a lot of players have been dodging me. I don't blame them. I think, but nevertheless, for example, for Kanto Cup, I think it's like pointless to actually dodge me because I'm not going to. I mean, going to stream snipe them. I actually, when I play on a streamer, I go to their stream to watch their reaction because I try to do not engage them because, well, I am most likely banned from a lot of streamer channels, so I cannot even talk. But I like to watch their reaction. I would like to know what they think of me and the community too, because as soon as they see my name, oh, they say, "Oh, stream sniper. Oh, he's going to dodge. Oh, he's going to hard counter you." Man, it's just Kanto Cup. Doesn't have elo, and I don't mind to do that. I'm not going to do that.
All right. So as I'm listening to you, I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing one that you kind of enjoy hearing people's reactions to you, like you kind of want to know, what are people talking about me, or people thinking about me? Like is that something that you do enjoy? Like you might wish it were a little more positive, but you do like the attention.
I don't know if I will call it like I like the attention, but I like how they react. If they react from they give they give too much importance. Like if they lose, they rant or they drop some f-bombs. That's fun to watch, but yeah, don't.
So you like watching people rant over GBL, but it has more to do with the fact that they think it's important in the first place. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I once again, that's fully in line with my feelings in terms of whether it's important or not. I think it's completely unimportant, but I think that the natural question that comes from that is, if it is so unimportant, why did you devote so much time to tracking stuff and doing what you did, as opposed to just kind of blowing through your sets, which I think take a lot of time already out of a day? Like what makes you want to take that extra time to do the research, the hard countering, if you will, or soft countering, whatever we want to call it? Like, what is it that's important to you about that on the flip side you can't understand why other people think it's important?
I don't know if I have an answer for that, to be honest, because well, I started to gather data like blindly, like let's see what happens. I mean, I wasn't sure that I could actually get that, make work that. Like, I don't know if you understand. Like, it can work. Like, because you can fail during the process. I had some time because I'm working from home, so I'm doing home office work. I can watch. I can live on the second on the PC, like I don't know the word, but I can turn up Twitch like and living on the other screen, and just watch without sounds. The team comps and the names. It's not that. It doesn't take that much time, but um, my intention was I have never I didn't have a clear objective from when I started to gather the data.
You didn't have a clear objective. It was just you were experimenting. You're saying?
Yeah, something like that. But when it started to work, I tried to actually exploit that.
All right. So once you had kind of a proof of concept, you maybe got a little bit greedy and you were like, oh wow, look, I can do this. Let's push it as far as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about your own actions in retrospect? Do you have shame, pride, regret, any feelings about what you did in terms of doing this? Would you do it again?
I have a bit of shame because it's not it wasn't something good from me. I am very ashamed of from what I did, because I used to hang out in a lot of streams. Like I knew a lot of streamers, but after this happened, most of them straight banned me. Like that felt bad. So I understand that why they did that, but I don't feel proud of myself doing that.
Okay.
I think I during the process I had to pay something that and that's what I paid, like and straight from Twitch.
So I've observed many times over this past year as GBL started, as so many people started streaming their battles, that the Pokemon Go PvP community and the Twitch community, like, they overlap so much. Like, it's almost like half the people who are high on the leaderboard stream, and like everybody wants to stream their battles. And it sounds like you enjoyed watching some of that. You enjoyed kind of taking part in the chats and just being around with that. So did you get value from that? Like, was that a good experience for you to hang out in those chats and to enjoy that?
Yeah, for me, it had a great value, like trying to know new people. And on the other hand, at this point, you must realize that English is not my main language. So I have been using Twitch to develop that part of me, like trying to get better on English skills and trying to going on that direction.
Right.
And that's what like the how did you call this, like a side effect?
Right.
Like improving this kind of skill.
Right. So did you have any sort of feelings with regards to the people that you did deliberately dodge? Did you, I think at some point in time during the previous interview that I heard at least one reference to somebody in particular. I think it was J-Rob and Stacks. and I really don't, that was my recollection, that you specifically didn't like his attitude, so you didn't feel bad about sniping him. Is that true, that you were kind of finding people that you didn't have much sympathy for, and that was one way that you were able to feel better about it?
Oh yeah, let me clear that, because I never played against J. Robin stacks during my pushing process. Let's call it like that. I do feel sorry for the ones that got affected by my behavior on GBL. On the other hand, I did felt bad on J. Robin stacks because we battled during the first day of Love Cup, and actually all these things already have blown up. Like everyone knew who was I and what I did. So I played him twice on the stream. I was not sniping. I lose badly against him. On the second time I lose, I went to the stream to actually watch his reaction, and he was like talking bullshit and dancing, doing floss. I don't remember. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? I did nothing against you. Why you are doing that? But I didn't engage with him at that point, because all chat, it was like me versus him, and all chat. No, it's pointless to do that. So I felt bad. I have seen a lot of that kind of reactions. It tells you how people can get when they give too much care about GBL, or this is just, at the end of the day, this is just a game, right? If you are behaving like that, that talks about how the people is outside Pogo. Like, I'm pretty sure if I face King on stream and he loses, or whatever the outcome it is, he's not going to behave like that. Just an example.
Okay, right, yeah. So you're taking issue with the way that certain streamers sort of treat their competitors, but that was just one example, and that's not really a big focus of what you were saying. That just was an example that came up. Okay.
But it's not the first time I have seen that behavior on streamers.
Right.
Like, for example, if I can't recall any like example directly with name, but if you are streaming your battles and you faced a guy using grass hole, for example, and you actually win that guy, it's very the streamer most of cases will start to talk bullshit about that guy using grass hole, like, oh, using a tap team, what a skiller player. I do myself a question. What if that guy is in the chat hanging out with the streamer? Does the streamer know? Will the streamer be happy about his comments? I mean, obviously the guy won't be happy if they got beaten, and after that the streamer is calling out him.
Right. So I agree with what you're saying, that I think that that certain streamers could have a more mature attitude, could have a more fair attitude towards their competitors. But when it comes down to it, I think at some point you said one of the chats that you like to hang out in was CCO's chat, and that you really enjoy that for just like all the memes and all the craziness, right? So what is it about that kind of stuff that you think is worthy of calling out, when you fully enjoy kind of like the silly side of things, the kind of just, nonsense side of things, where, I mean, a lot of it is just, straight memes, straight whatever. It's not really thinking about like how the person on the other side feels. It's not necessarily mean spirited, but it's not like, I don't know. It feels like you kind of enjoy exactly the thing you're describing that you don't like.
Yeah, I get your point, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it must feel very controversial, but I know that Charles doesn't do that on purpose. Like, he's just doing it for the content. He could call you mofo like 10 times, but he doesn't. He actually doesn't think that you are that. It's just for the memes. That's what I understand from what I get from his chat. He I think it's a different situation when actually doesn't when a random streamer like behaves all time, but at a certain guy he's like being really serious about what he's saying, or the treatment they give a different treatment to the person. Um, don't know if I explained it, the point.
Right. You're saying that, I mean, it's kind of, I'm trying to think of a good example without being controversial, but it's one of those things where you're saying that you think you have enough understanding of CCO's mindset that you don't take the things he says seriously. Like, it's kind of like somebody doesn't treat the things Howard Stern says in the same way that they treat something that one of their friends might say it, because they know it's all for the content. So you're saying that what you object to is legitimate bad sportsmanship. Is that what you're saying? Like people who are actually just like outright rude to their competitors on the basis of whatever.
Yeah, I think there is a difference on that.
Okay.
It's what I think.
All right.
But yeah, it's controversial because not everyone knows CCO or are in their chat often enough to know him.
Right. All right. We've kind of come full circle to the point where, a lot of people have pointed out they don't like the fact that you're getting any attention. They don't like the fact that we're giving you airtime. And you're calling out some things that you don't like. If you were to speak to some of the people who say that your viewpoint isn't worthy of being discussed, what sort of reason can you tell them that they should listen to you about what you're telling them in terms of what's ethical, what's moral? Because obviously you have a problem with their ethics. What do you think it is? What would be the message you would want to send to them if you were being sincere and saying, this is what I have to say. This is something that's true from my perspective.
Well, I'm not going to try to convince anyone. From my experience the last 3 weeks on Twitch, and as soon as they see my nickname, they try to call out or drop some F-bombs against me. What I will say to those people is like, if you want to talk, you can send me a DM. We can discuss. I'm not going to try to make you think that what I think is the truth, but I am open to discuss whatever you want. And I think it's pointless, or no, there is no need to start an open rant on streamers chats because they don't deserve that. They are doing they are doing their job. So I think it's not worthy to start to have an argument on chat.
You're saying you just like to handle all of this privately and not be kind of a spectacle.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Niantic actually doing something to address this issue? There have been people in chat and people just generally have spoken about the things that they might do. The simple suggestions always seem to be just keep it completely anonymous until you are at least in the battle and it's too late to back out, or actually counting backouts against you in some way negatively. What do you think about what Niantic could do, and would you support them changing the game to fix this loophole?
I think they could, rather than show the name later, this will sound a bit controversial, but after the show their name later on, I think they could actually penalize you if you dodge. Why? Because let's say if I'm going to, if I see the name, I don't know, FP Sticks, and I know that my team will lose against FP Sticks team, whatever the reason it is, like hard counter, and I am actually sure that I won't be able to flip that game. I do the question, why I'm going to play that game if I know I'm going to lose?
Right. So you're right. I mean, the way you phrase it makes me think. So there's different schools of thought in terms of, do you play every match out, or do you quit as soon as you realize you have no win condition? And some people say, play every one of them out. Most people, especially at the top level, they will just say, if I realize I've got no win con, I'm not wasting my time. It sounds like you are kind of short circuiting the process and saying, well, not only that, but why start the game if I know that I realistically don't have a win con and I'm not going to benefit from it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So at that point, it becomes a question of, I guess, just how that impacts the ranking algorithms and what value you get out of the game. Like, when you make that decision, are you making that decision because it's not worth playing a game you're going to lose, or because it's going to affect your ranking, your record, your rewards in GBL?
I think it kind of is a mix between both of those. But I think if you are going to get penalized by dodging, you could lose like less elo rather than straight up losing that game.
Right. Yeah. So that if there's maybe a dodge could be counted, or whatever the game perceives as a dodge could be counted as not a loss, but something in your record that's negative as compared to a win. Like, it could be a different thing thrown in the mix, not a tie, whatever you want to call it. Something where you would be penalized, but you didn't have to waste your time. And right. And so, I mean, I fully agree with that. Do you think, from what you have seen based on the Niantic matchmaking system, do you think that they have a handle on what constitutes a real disconnect and what constitutes an actual dodge? Do you think that they could figure that out? Or do you think
I think that they cannot figure it out that. Man, there are so many issues that have been on the game for so long, like quick catch. I don't know if actually quick catching is a bug, if you can call that a bug, but they have never fixed it, like from one year. How that they are going to know if you app crashes, like if you run out battery, or you are actually dodging? How they will know the difference? I don't think they can figure it out.
Right. And
that
so
kind of stuff.
I know that they've released things in recent days saying that they're using, advanced new technology to detect different kinds of cheating and all that. And they were kind of vague about what they meant. I've recently been doing streams where just as a pure joke, we were doing synchronized battles. And in order to get the battles synchronized, we had to dodge if one of us queued up and the other one didn't. And so we were dodging just for the purpose of just complete nonsense. Like there was no thought process behind it. But it was my feeling that if Niantic wanted to, they could probably at least detect patterns. They could detect if you match up against a certain person and you always dodge, or if you dodge a certain number of times in a row, or a certain number of times within 5 to 10 minutes. Like that would be something that I think they could recognize, because that to me would be different than a phone running out of a battery. You don't run out of battery and then get back in and then do it again and then get back in and do it again. Like I think that it's fair that the system should penalize somebody who is repeatedly dodging in that way. But I think that as long as they're engaging in some sort of pattern recognition, I think that maybe they could do it. I mean, I think that's a little ambitious, but it did occur to me that would at least be possible. Does that sound, if they were able to do that, does that sound like something that would have stopped you from doing it, if they knew that if you knew that doing it more than once in a row, you were going to get an issue, or was it just being able to do it? How many times would you have to do it to actually benefit yourself? Did you do it once an hour? Did you do it once every half hour? How often do you think you had to dodge to benefit?
I'm not dodging anymore.
Right. But when you were doing it, what was maybe the frequency that you would have to do that you
no,
would
it
say?
Was yeah, I know what you are asking. It did not take that much time at all, because at the top of the leaderboard, most of people want to do their sets, and if you dodge someone, they will just re-queue, and unless you are very unlucky that I don't know, let's say there is like 30 people, like 50 people that you can possibly get paired with, and two of them queue at the same time, it takes like less than 1 minute to actually get paired with at least one of them. It doesn't take that much. On the other hand, on lower elos, it's almost impossible to get that.
Right. Oh, so right. So the sample size, the number of people that were in your elo range made it viable to do that.
Yeah.
What do you think in a world, if you were to design the perfect streaming world where you could enjoy your content, but it would minimize the possibility that somebody could do what you are doing? Do you think the streamers themselves have any responsibility in this? Do you think that streaming these matches is a worthwhile thing that people do, that's worth the kind of trade-off of handing out their not only their information, but as you pointed out, their competitors' information that you've used?
I have shared feelings on that, because I kind of like to watch other people battles, but on the other side, I don't like, for example, if I'm using something very spicy, like let's say Galvantula, but with Energy Ball, which can actually catch off guard a lot of mod boys. Like if someone realizes that I am running that particular moveset, I am not going to be happy if that is actually streamed by a streamer, and my opponents will be shielding that kind of moves. Like I don't have a direct answer to that, because from one part I like to watch battles, but on the other side I don't. It's a risk to play against a streamer, because your movesets are going to be exposed, and your team also is going to be exposed.
Right. So I don't remember whether you got into this or not on the previous interview, but nonetheless, I think that what you're discussing now brings up kind of an important distinction. Have you engaged much in other kinds of PvP outside of GBL? Have you done like Sylph stuff? Have you done other kinds of PvP?
I do Sylph. No, I don't do Sylph like a hardcore player, but I do Sylph. Try to at least rank one tournament a month. I do Sylph, and when someone hosts a tournament, let's say they are going to share with others all their fights. I think it's kind of unfair for the others if the streamer doesn't ask them if they can spoil the battle. I mean, show the battle, but by showing the battle, you will also spoil your movesets.
Right. So the Sylph rule is that hidden information has to remain hidden, and you're not allowed to share it with anyone else, whether it's yours or whether it's you, your friends, whatever. You're not allowed to tell anybody what happened in your battles to the extent that it exposes movesets. And I know that, casually people, of course, break those rules. So you would be, from a competitive standpoint, the competitive side of you agrees with the Sylph rule that if people don't have permission to show it, that it should not be shown. And just because you want to stream your battles, that's not a reason to put your information on stream.
Yeah, my competitive side agrees with that. If I play Sylph, is because I have a competitive part of. There is a competitive part of me. Like I really enjoy the format of pick 6, choose 3 for the battle, and let's see the outcome of that. I agree with that.
And so on the flip side, in the GBL setting, you've laid heavy weight on the fact that the things that you're doing don't violate Niantic's terms of service. They're not, against the rule, or they don't assign any penalty to it. They don't say anything about it. It may be something that the community has decided is wrong. It's their ethics. It's their feelings about it. But do you, at the end of the day, view the GBL format as a competitive format, or is it just kind of a time waster, just a time sink, just something you do to pass the time?
I will not call it like a way to waste your time, because I think GBL teach you something like how to read teams or how to play some certain matchups. But I do think like that is not, since it's not penalized, Niantic doesn't actually have rules for GBL. So what I did was what's wrong from a moral point of view or from an ethical point of view.
And so if hypothetically Niantic were to put out a tweet and nothing else, just a tweet or one of their little go live updates, and it just said, we want our players to be aware that we don't support people, stream sniping. I mean, they're not going to use those words, but if they said that, would that change your view? If they said it was against the rules, even if they weren't doing anything to enforce it, would that change what you did? Or was the fact that it was just possible and not a big deal to you, was that more just a decision that you made?
At this point, what is done is done. I mean, it will, and maybe it will encourage others to not stream snipe. For me, I'm not going to stream snipe anymore because it doesn't. doesn't feel good, and it is pointless for me at this point.
And when it came to the community reaction, were you at all surprised by the reaction once people were onto what you were doing? I mean, did you actually have any surprise that people were reacting in this way?
Yeah, I mean, like my first reaction was like, dude, they actually are blaming me for doing this. Like I was getting heavily exposed after I did it. It was like a directly witch hunt. If I don't know if it is called like that, witch hunt.
Right.
Like everyone wanted to know who I was, my real name, my details on YouTube. I remember Tommy Love went really mad. Like he did a YouTube video. He tracked my YouTube account, exposed my real name. Why are you doing that? I mean, there is no reason to do that. It's like I think he overreacted by doing that. There was no need to do it.
Right. I don't know any of the details of that happening. I think it's a question of kind of, do the ends justify the means? And I would agree with you that, the idea of doxing someone or whatever is I would say it's beyond the bounds of good taste, regardless of what your motivation is.
I mean, I could understand that if I'm going to give an example, I killed a little one or whatever, but this is just a game. At the end of the day, it's not worth it to do it.
Right.
I don't see the point of doing that kind of stuff.
Agreed. What sort of community reaction do you want moving forward? If you were to be able to rewrite your narrative and say, this is who I am, and I'd actually like to be part of this community, how would you write that narrative?
Well, I'm going to give an example of how I would like to. Well, after all this happened, people started to call me out on Twitter. But one of them, Panic23, I don't know if you know him. Yes. He actually sent me a DM on Twitch. Ask him. He tried to reach out, with me, and asked me. He made some questions. We talked about from what happened, and like that kind of behavior is more respectable. Like you will expect that from a normal person. Like why I'm going to call out someone on public if I can reach him. I know how to reach him. I know who he is, and we can just talk about this issue in a more relaxed way.
And would you say that you were easy to find? I guess that would probably impact whether it was easy to reach you like that, because there was some sort of issue as to usernames not being consistent, and I mean, do we know how he found you specifically? Is it really easy to do so?
Yeah, maybe that was an issue. Actually, I recently changed my Twitch name. It's no longer Tuscachetes, sadly. Now I'm using my in-game name to avoid that kind of confusion. But most of the streamers were aware of who I was, who I am, because I mean, I have been watching them. Like, how much time have been since GBL started, and they started to stream their battles? Like less than 1 year, but I think it's enough time to.
It's been about a year,
yeah, since COVID started. Most of them know who I am, so it wasn't that hard at all to reach me out.
Okay. And beyond what you've already said, do you think there's anything other than, I think that you clarified at the onset that you were not specifically targeting streamers, you were targeting just the general, like whoever you were able to get data on, basically, like wherever you saw the most battles that were in your elo range and you were able to gather information, that was what you seized on, right? Is there anything other than that confusion that you'd like to clear up about anything else that's been kind of presented either by you or about you?
I'm pretty sure there is something there, but I cannot. Sorry, can't remember. I mean, I did not stream snipe streamers. Like they think I was doing that, but I'm being honest on this. I did not stream snipe streamers because one, it was pretty obvious if you are going to stream snipe and a sniper, and I just used their streams to gather the data. So yeah, I can't recall any other thing related with that.
How good do you think that you are at the game? If you were to kind of put yourself in a bracket, compare yourself to a certain class of battler, whether it was a GBL Elo right now or Sylph rank, like where do you think your actual skills fall if you weren't relying on the tricks you were playing?
I think I'm good. I'm not at the top, but I think I am the player that knows how to manage their energy. The one that doesn't get most of times free fast move sneak it in, because I am actually counting. I know when I have to throw to avoid I don't know, an extra bolt switch or snarl or whatever the move it is. I know how to sack swap, or when it's worthy to not shield and a Pokemon. I don't know. I think I'm good, but I am not at the top.
Is it fair to say that you think your technical skills are pretty good, but your team building or assessing of like the overall meta may not be as strong as some of the players at the top?
No, I think I'm very good reading teams. Like I know I will most likely figure out what the happened in the back. Mostly for all leagues, but I don't spend that much time on GVL to be on the top. I think I just do my daily sets. Not even all days I do that. Sometimes I just play like 1 or 2 sets because I don't have time.
I'm trying to largely ignore chat, but I'm actually seeing something that I think merits some response, just to try and she says she loves to see a happy ending. We've got For the Battles Kim in here, and I think it's not any secret that she has not been a fan of yours and in general has low tolerance for cheating. There have been a lot of people, herself included, that have asked for you to specifically either apologize or show remorse. Is that something that you feel comfortable doing, or do you think that that's just pandering or catering to what somebody wants to hear from you?
I will apologize with the ones that were affected by my behavior, for sure. I think I did on Bloody Bananas stream already, but yeah. I was about to say something, but so no, I cannot say it without dropping some F-bombs. Sorry.
I mean, like I said, I don't care about the language. The language doesn't bother me as long as we're not like slandering people or whatever. I don't care about
No,
the
I'm
language.
not looking at the chat now, so I
no,
can't,
it
can't
just
do that.
no. But so if you had to describe the people that you actually feel like you impacted, who do you think that was, whether it was specific names or whether it was just like a group of people? Like, what do you think you took from somebody else if you were to describe it?
Well, I think I mostly affected the ones that were trying to reach rank 1, because they were my daily opponents. But yeah, my apologies is directly for them. Because I affected their final push or their chance to get number 1.
There's some other things being pointed out in chat that just, and this immediately came to mind when I saw the original interview, was that I felt like, due to the slight language barrier and cultural barrier, that maybe there was some unfair assumptions being made, and just they were very, very quick to jump on lack of explanations for things. And one thing that's pointed out is that, just culturally, you may just have different ideals than we do in terms of what's valuable. Do you think it's fair to say that just the biggest difference is that the people who are most angry care more about these GBL results than you do?
I think a part of that is correct, that I will not target that specific point on cultural differences, maybe.
Okay.
If that's the
maybe
word.
Not cultural, maybe just personal. Maybe you specifically just don't value it in the same way that they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so what do you value in the PvP community? Is it more the streams that you're no longer necessarily able to actively participate in? Is it the Sylph battles that you do the once a month, or what is it that you're hoping to kind of get out of the community moving forward, or be able to contribute to the community?
Sorry, could you repeat the last part of the question?
I'm trying. We've kind of established that you don't care about the GBL results in the same way that a lot of your critics do. What is it that you care about, and that you'd like to both get out of the community and maybe give back to the community in the future to kind of be part of the community? What can you bring to the community, and what would you like to see in the community?
Well, I will keep doing my battles and playing Pogo. Not going to stop playing. Well, I'm not a bad person. If I can help anyone to improve their skills or give some assessment on their performance on GBL, I am open to do it. I'm not going to coach anyone. Not even will do backseat coaching, but I think I can help some people that noobs, novices, I don't know how you call them. I am open to that. I like to help.
Okay. No,
I don't know what else can
no,
offer.
That's good. I mean, I agree, and I think that when I first started doing this PvP thing, the thing that gave me the most enjoyment was getting those people, like you said, the new people, and just kind of teaching them the basics. Like I'm not going to make them world beaters, but just trying to get them to the point where they can have fun with it, and be part of, somebody I can interact with, and part of the community in general. I hope I don't have a stake in this. I mean, I personally, from this interview, I'm there's things I agree with, there's things I don't agree with, but I don't come away thinking that you're a bad person, and I hope that people also come away with the same thing. And I really feel like it would be great if we could all move on. I don't know that you're ever gonna, you're not gonna instantly win over people. You're not gonna instantly stop getting people to ban you. There's gonna be some people that are just gonna be on that page. But if you are looking to be part of this community moving forward, I really hope that you find, you're part of the community. It's not all just one community. Find yourself a nice place where people are willing to forgive and forget, regardless of what they think of your actions. And I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much. I will also will appreciate if people could move on this,
right.
because I will keep watching Twitch, like watching battles and all that stuff. If you want to insult me on chat, be my guest. I mean, I'm not going to care that much. Not going to reply that weight insult. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do my best to don't know if to be part of the community, but
right.
since I will keep playing,
right.
I am kind of included on the community, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to, during the upcoming seasons, I'm going to fight some streamers. I hope that I don't hard counter them, because there is a dilemma. If I hard counter them, I will be sniping them. If I lose, I suck at the game. I mean, there's no middle point where people will be. I hope that there is a middle point where people can actually be happy with what they are watching, because
right.
I'm not going to be sniping stream snipers. From all of this, from what I stated at the beginning of the interview, my main goal were not the streamers.
Right. Yeah, and I think that I would just want everybody to come away with this. To me, the most important thing is that people are everybody's a human, and that we're more important than this game. And especially where I'm seeing someone here who recognizes that they've made a mistake, whether or not that was an easy decision for him to come to, or whether he would have gotten to that without being exposed, who knows. But just remember, there's a human on the other side of that keyboard, people. And like, regardless of what you think of it, we can all meme, we can all, you're not going to be accepted overnight, but I mean, we definitely can be better than that as a community. So I think that we have spent a lot of time on this. Unless you have any closing words. I know the one thing that Quiggles was asking was whether you had your electric guitar within range to take us out with a riff.
Oh, dude, it's like 2 a.m. here.
Oh, that's right.
I could actually play it, but
you've got neighbors.
Yeah, I can't do that at the moment. I would like to, because I don't play guitar much often, but you never forget how to play.
Right.
So it's like ride a bicycle. Yeah, I can't play at the moment. Sorry, Quiggles.
well, thank you for joining us, though. If there's anything you want to go out with, go for
it. Yeah, taking you from your words that there is a human being at the other side of the screen. It could have been very easy for me to just like change my Twitch account, do another account, or just change my in-game name. But I I think I took the hard way. Like, no, I did this, I have to embrace it. So it could have been very easy for me to just hide in the jungle, but instead I came up and I showed them who was behind all this stuff. To yeah, wanted to say that before.
You're saying you're willing to take the consequences, as some might say, like a man. I guess that's a little bit of a reference that maybe isn't politically correct anymore. But you're willing to stand up and take accountability for what you did. But in the same way, you just are asking for some understanding.
Yeah, understanding and respect. Right. I mean, not respect for me as a player, but respect for the person behind.
Right. All right. Well, thank you again. I think that we're going to move on to some of the other things going on in the wild world of PvP this week. But again, thank you for joining us. Can Jiggly air guitar? I would air guitar if he had music to go along with. But thank you. Thank you. Have a great night, and see you around.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Are you still there? Oh, I guess that, I am. I guess that Ethan and I guess my Bellsprouts do have questions to ask. They didn't pipe in, but they were pinging me on Discord, which I don't hear the notifications because it's in streamer mode. But here, what do you have to ask, Ethan?
Oh, it was Alyssa.
Oh,
sorry.
Alyssa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, let's go for it, Alyssa. Sorry.
Okay. So first off, nobody mind my face. I had a very minor surgical procedure done, and everything is fine. I just look funny. So I just had one question that I just wanted a little bit of clarification on, if you would not mind. Earlier, you condemned streaming and like showing other people's teams without their consent. But you were benefiting from that information by being able to keep track of that and then learning, when to dodge or what teams you should use for your own rank. So if you're condemning it, but also using that for your advantage, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So if you're condemning
I do agree with you. It's controversial. Yeah.
So you admit that we shouldn't be able to see other people's teams, but since you can, you're going to use that to gain rank because it's there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's controversial. I'm not going to do it anymore, but you are right. It's controversial.
Okay, that's really all I had. I just wanted to kind of clarify.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
I'm pretty aware of that. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
And then I just want to say, like, I think that this interview was really productive. I like the way chat was behaving. And I'm hoping we can all just like move past this and accept that we're all people and that, we make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're making mistakes. And, it just takes another person to point that out. But we're all people. We at least the people here you see here, Memi, appreciate you. And maybe not your actions in the past, but like you're a part of the community. We value you. You've demonstrated that you're sorry, and whether that's appropriate or not, but like honestly, it just comes down to Niantic at the end of the day. This is their game. There's a lot of flaws. There always has been. And until those things get fixed, we just need to work together as a community and not tear people down. So thank you all for coming out, and thank you, Memi, for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Now we'll say goodnight one more time and we'll mean it. All right. And so on to the just normal PvP news, the no drama kind of stuff. We had Go Stadium got down to their final 4. We've got Mazer Blue versus Grotesque Sausages and Aquatail Hunger Force versus We Tap Faster. Mazer Blue, the fairly all-star high prestige team with Speedy, Panic, Rise, and Allie on that team, and the other teams, even though they have some names that I recognize, like OG Player One and Spectre, I believe, not necessarily the names that are the everyday household names, but definitely some competitive battlers there. I believe that those battles were actually going on this weekend. I don't believe that they have been officially revealed. I'm guessing they are going to get streamed this week. But they also announced that there's going to be a Go Team Up World Championship where they are going to invite back past winners and past high seeds. As was pointed out to us in Swell Sprouts channel, it's a distinction we have no risk of running, that we will not be invited to the championships as we have not yet distinguished ourselves in that way. But just wanted to note that. So one of the 2 Mazer teams moving on, and earlier I know we had Panic and Rise poking around in chat for at least a minute or 2. So congrats to you guys. And best of luck to everyone moving forward, whether those matches are completed or not. I mean, it could be that you know the results and you're just embargoed and can't tell me. But in any case, today was the last day for Labyrinth Cup. In theory, if I were to maybe find one that we're starting right now and it had 10-minute rounds, maybe I could get a weighted in, but it's going to be yet another month where Jiggly does not have a weighted tournament because I just performed so badly. But Vortex Cup is on its way, and presumably in APAC, the ranked labyrinths are probably underway. I'm sure there's people doing day ones right now. I know Mr. Dr. Pants in the chat and some other people, I think Abhinav included, have not been particular fans of Labyrinth. I'm not hearing too much negative about Vortex yet. How are you guys feeling about Vortex, having had like approximately a week to think about it or see what people are doing? Have you
Who's
thought
thinking about it?
Much? What's that? You're
No.
not thinking about it?
No,
about it.
I've been thinking about my face mostly.
Okay, fair.
And finishing up all of my Labyrinth. I didn't do my weighted until this past week, like while all this was going on. So it was interesting, but my weighted was really good, and I liked this cut despite like everybody else hating it. I feel like I liked it a lot. Oh, Rich in the chat saying Labyrinth sucked. It didn't suck. I thought it was really fun. I thought it definitely made me happy because I feel like I'm pretty good at predicting leads. And if you have the lead in this meta, like it's really easy to have the game as long as you don't mess anything else up. Right. So that was, I don't know, I really liked it. I did really well, except one tournament where I accidentally used the wrong team in my second round and lost. And I just like couldn't recover. I was so mental about the rest of that tournament that I lost like so much because I was like, I can't lose another one. And I'd get like crazy about it and then ruin it for myself.
So you're saying it's RPS, but it's the kind of RPS you like because you're just so on the game with your lead prediction.
Oh, I don't think I'm like so on the game. I just think it's like the one part of like the battle I'm usually like decent with. Because I can just really think about the other person's team and think like, well, if I were them, I would probably do this. And a lot of the times that works out. Not like tooting my own horn or anything.
Tooting your own horn would probably hurt right now with the bandage paste.
Oh God, wouldn't it though? It would be bad.
So, and I'm guessing I've been talking to Ethan. I know that he was trying to get in the mode of actually doing a Labyrinth, but I don't know that he actually did. Did you actually get one in, Ethan?
I did the one last night. I actually
that's right. You did. We did a live one, and apologies to Mel, who was so confused. We were literally on stream with Boomers, and And beforehand, Victor was just like, I've got to find a way to, and then somebody was just like, we should just run one. And so, yeah, we spontaneously ran one last night. It didn't do me any good, but we got it in. And then Victor, I think, managed to do better today in another one after having worked out the kinks. So, normally we do things a little bit more organized here, but that was just spur of the moment. Jiggly's insane. I know. We love you, Mel.
So I really like this. Here, let me just turn off.
Welcome, Jake. I on Bellsprouts, I pretty much turn off all the notifications on stream, so I didn't see that you'd come through. So what's going on?
So slow mode's off, chat. Please behave.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, slow. We're letting the shackles off as long as everybody knows how to behave.
So yeah, I really liked Labyrinth. Honestly, I'm sad. Oh, I'll get a new title in a second, Boomer. I'm not feeling it right now. Like, I liked Labyrinth, and I'm sad because I actually, for once, came up with my own strategy. Like, usually, I'll be like, okay, Caleb, what's on the menu? Or like, like I'll go to like someone that I really trust with team building, figure out how their team works really well, and then put my own spin on it. But this time, it was like, no, you know what? I have my own ideas. I'm free of thought. I'm rewriting my narrative. They're never going to see this coming. This is my own strat. And it did really well. And it caught a lot of people off guard. And Dragonair OP. So that's all I have to say about that. And Labyrinth is gone. So you don't have to worry about Dragonair anymore. But Dragonair, Blaine, shout out to Blaine in chat, because we literally talked for like 4 hours about Labyrinth Cup. And he was one of the proponents to get me to run Dragonair. So yeah, honestly, it was a really fun meta, and I decided to go with a double fighter strat, so double counter Vigoroth and Toxicroak for options, and it was awesome. I just basically looked at the other team, was like, oh, Vigoroth's good here, oh wait, Toxicroak's good here. Okay, so then I just matched it up, and just like Alyssa, I'm pretty all right when it comes to calling leads in Sylph. Not dear goodness, not in Go Team Up, but in Sylph, I'm pretty all right at it. When anything's meta is involved, like Azu and stuff, that's when I start to suck at it. But in Sylph formats, awesome, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I really liked Labyrinth. It was a lot of fun, and I'm sad to see it go. But Vortex, I have some shadows, and I'm not afraid to use them. And I'm gonna unleash them. I'm excited.
Is gonna be unleashed.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's all I have to say. We should make the redemption at some point, but that's for
right.
later.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll be
but I've already built one, so yeah. So yeah, I don't know what you think about it right now, Jiggly or Alyssa. Alyssa's not thinking about it, but I don't know if Jiggly is.
I welcome any meta that doesn't just instantly encourage people to run Charmhole or Charm in general. If I can knock out stab charm users, that's beautiful to me. And so I am looking forward to it. And that doesn't mean I'll do well. Chances are I won't do well. I'll be distracted by other shiny toys, but I'll try. And it's good to see Ethan as excited as he is about Sylph. I think we're gonna get him back on the train. We're gonna get him going. Let's go.
I can finally come back again after being not so. I don't really care about GBL. The pose this season is not amazing. I don't like Elena or Elisa. I don't even know what her name is. I don't really like her character. I don't know.
Did you just say you don't like Alyssa?
Not Alyssa.
Oh.
No. I don't like I mean, I love electric type gym leaders, Lieutenant Surge. He's the man. Honestly, I love the hardcore electric gym leaders, but like Elisa, like she just doesn't do it for me. Like she's like not at all. Like I could run over her with my with my Ampharos or something. Like
somebody clip that. Not East type.
Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that.
Not doing anything for.
No, not obvious. And there's 71. I just can't.
Oh, what about you, Alyssa? Have you had any thoughts beyond what you weren't even in? You weren't here last week, right? That was the week that you had the crazy allergic reaction that led us where we are, or whatever we're.
Yeah.
So
that's how it started.
So what have been your thoughts from that day till now about Vortex and what you've seen? Are you a fan of getting the Charmers out?
I mean, I haven't looked at it at all. I can't split my brain into looking at two different metas at the same time. I need to completely focus on one, and then when it's over, I'll dive headfirst into the other one. So because my weighted literally concluded like this morning, yeah, I haven't even begun to entertain. I haven't even looked at rankings. I watched the announcement, I put it away. So I haven't given it brain space at all, but I'm going to start doing that. I pulled it up earlier and I saw Xylus was on there, which is kind of cool. But what's most important is I saw Frostlass, and that's really exciting for me because that's my favorite. Frostlass does it for me.
Not to be like on the flip side of Elisa does not do anything for E.
Well, she has a bow, so it is a given. But she's also a bad bitch, and I just really like her.
Honestly, if I could purge license, I would right now. Like 100%, I would purge license.
Oh yeah, Vortex started 7 hours ago because, despite popular opinion, of Sylph caters to our Eastern Hemisphere friends and wants to let them get a start. So yeah, Vortex, I'm looking forward to just being able to use things that are different. And I mean, Mandibuzz may be a little bit too meta now, but
Mandibuzz is so fun though. I ran that in Labyrinth all over the place, and that thing, like, if you can tank a Blizzard, like, okay, it shouldn't happen, but it can, and that's really cool.
I just like the fact that now apparently the rankings have been adjusted over this past week, and Snowy Castform is ranked 4. I like that as well.
I do have one that I have never played with. You haven't built one?
Oh no, I built one. And I barely used it. I think Trotter, if he's in the chat, was responsible for me building one, and then I promptly changed my mind, and then I was like, I'm gonna get some use out of this thing. It's interesting. It's difficult, but it's difficult just because of the monotyping, but it does the job when it gets lined up right. That's for sure.
I think it would just be fun to use because it's not something, most of us play with frequently.
Right.
And I've never used mine. The IVs aren't great. It's lucky, but I was dust poor when I built it, so that was like the only way.
Right. Yeah. Weather ball users are all the rage, and it's probably the only weather ball user that doesn't have some sort of coverage move. So it's generally inferior in that way. But if it ever had a coverage move, I could only imagine how good it would be. In Niantic land, we have, as we always have come to expect, we can humor ourselves and think that they wait until the day after Bellsprouts to release everything. But last Monday, they released the information on the Season of Legends, which is already underway, just like Vortex Cup is. It's underway over in the Eastern Hemisphere, that they have started seeing these different hemisphere exclusive Pokemon. They've started doing different things. The way that they teased it was they said, we in the Northern Hemisphere are going to get Tangela, Combi, Krogunk, Ducklet, and many more in the wild, and that we are going to get Sinnoh starters, Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. and Springform Deerling. And then they threw in Scyther, Dratini, and Cottony as sort of, I guess that's supposed to be the rare spawns. Cottony sure not seeming rare right now, so I'm wondering how it could be rare during the season. But the Southern Hemisphere going to get Mankey, Yanma, Beezle, Woobat, and other things. And they are going to get Unova starters, Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott, with the rare ones being Pineco, Bagon, and Ferroseed. And they will now get their shot at Autumn Form Deer. Oh, wait, Autumn Form Deerling, was that the one that made... I'm trying to remember whether they got that at the same time we did or whether they got the right one. They might have gotten the right one. Because we've already gotten Autumn Form, haven't we? We've gotten the first two. So I'm trying to remember what they got, but they probably got the right thing. Does anything about that strike you as good, bad, or indifferent in terms of the fact that I was specifically confused by the idea that somehow like the regions for the starters were going to be separated? So like we get Sinnoh and they get Unova. Do you feel like that is good, bad, or indifferent, or just whatever?
I don't know that any of it is super thrilling to me. I think it'll be cool to have a change. I don't have a good shiny Toxicroak, so an increase in Krogunk will be nice.
Right, let's see. We're going to get...
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. There, he is back. So how do you feel about these spawns? I heard at least a couple people complain about things like Mankey and Ferroseed being in the Southern Hemisphere, and that we would get kind of screwed on it in the North. But how do you feel about that?
I like the spawns. I like the diversity. I like the change. Yes, thank you, license. I like the change in the season. Yeah, it's nice. I do like Frillish in the wild, but I do not like Frillish not being in my GBL reward. So Niantic, like, where are you at? Okay, like, okay. Yeah, sorry. And just to be clear, I was not trying to be like sexist when I said I didn't like Elisa. Agatha is bad. Like, Agatha is really cool. Honestly, like, there are a lot of like really cool female gym leaders as well. It's just like Elisa is just like more of like a fashionista, and that's just not my style. Anyways, I don't know. Hey, Abhinav, I like ghosts. What? Okay, yeah, okay, guys, you guys are okay. I'm gonna go away again. I'm gonna go purge myself. Anyways, yeah. But so, I do like the season update.
What about the raids that we're going to get? What are you feeling about these plushies, these, as I described them, these Therian form things that look just kind of like these not so scary monsters? They look like if you took a supposedly scary Japanese beast and made it into like a kid's plaything, like especially
the Therian.
Yes, the Therian forms. They just kind of look like they're going meow meow meow, like, you know. They don't look scary at all.
What? Yeah. Oh, okay. Blaine, Cynthia is my favorite. Anyways, let's just get off that topic. But Cynthia's for sure my favorite. Therian Landorus is crazy in every way. So when that comes out, I know they're like walling it right now, which totally makes sense because I feel like they have something planned for it. Like Therian Thunderous and Therian Tornadus are the ones that are out right now, are gonna be. Therian Landorus isn't coming out till later, and Therian Landorus is insane. So when that comes out, like even right now, I think, do we know if the XL changes are live yet? Are they live?
I don't know if I'm guessing the XL changes have probably been pushed. I know that they changed the catch rates on stuff so that the long complained of catch rates on things like Bunnelby and the like have been changed. Let's see. Oh, I posted the same link regarding that as I had. I know it was on the Pokeminers Twitter.
Hunter Craven saying no, but then Boomer saying yes. I don't know. And then Zeus is saying no. Okay. Well, okay.
What a roller coaster.
That's awkward. Well, Niantic, please make it live. That's all I will say, because when it is live, you guys want to do as many Landorus raids as you can within reason, because XL candies for Landorus are going to be very important when Therian comes out. I'm sure everyone, or a lot of people probably know that, but Therian Landorus is actually really, really good. Like, really good and competitive. And it's good in the main series, and it'll probably be good in Pogo as well, because its stat product is really nice. So
yeah, the update that I'm aware of that they pushed out is it said Vanillite goes from 10% to 40%, Bunnelby 20 to 50%, Fletchling 20 to 50%, Flea Rate. Fletchinder went 10% to 25%. Flea Rate went down. Talonflame went from 5% to 12.5%. Flea Rate cut in half. Litleo from 30 to 40%. Pyroar, which I've never seen in the wild, 10% to 20. Noibat from 30 to 40, and a slight decrease in the Flea Rate. GBL rewards now include Landorus Incarnate instead of the birds or Mewtwo at level 20. So that is what I'm aware of actually being fixed. I think you can kind of read into that in terms of the fact that we're probably going to be seeing some more Noibat. I'm guessing they're going to start loosening the strings on Noibat, and probably Vanillite as well. Not sure that we'll see Vanillite a lot, but and Bunnelby, just as somebody who's just finishing up the XL grind for Bunnelby, like, man, I almost wish that it's the boomer mentality in me says, if I had to grind it, you should have to grind it, kids, the old fashioned way. But it's wretched. It's truly wretched trying to catch Bunnelbys and wasting Ultra Balls on those things that really are like common spawns.
So what I can take away from that is get wrecked, Jiggly, for grinding early. But also good on you for grinding early, because now you have a Digger Speed early. So, but I don't have to grind as hard. So thank you for your suffering, so that everyone else's grind can be easier.
Oh.
But yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know what else to say.
So what about today? I know that today Ethan didn't go out much. I know I was sending you some raids, and you said you decided to stay home. We had another bird raid day. The five raid passes from stops and the 3 free from the box this weekend for remotes. I really lost track of how many I used. I probably went a little bit over that, but it was more just kind of, interacting with people. Saw some locals I hadn't seen in a while, wanted to get the XL candy while I could for the Articunos, or just the candy in general, because I need to add a second move to my Master League one. Did you do much in the way of bird day today, or were other things such as face gates keeping you from spending all day doing that?
I'm not sure why you would think minor surgery of any kind would keep me from any kind of event in this game, considering I literally got a hotel room away from my family too.
That's true.
Yeah. No, we did the whole day. We brought kids and it was horrible, but we did it. Yeah, it was really great. No amount of McDonald's was keeping them satisfied this day.
Mistakes were made.
Oh man, yeah, it sucked. But we did all of it. I was really trying to grind out rockets because I'm still trying to finish up my stuff to get to 45. And and I've got a few left that I'm hopefully going to knock out tomorrow. But it was really hard to manage all of the rocket stops, plus remembering to TM the things, and then trying to do all of the raids and the remote invites everybody was sending. It was just like a lot really packed into those 3 hours. It's kind of stressful.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that what Boomer said, 2 events at the same time, real smart Niantic. I mean, I think when they run the longer events, I think it's okay to sort of cater to different audiences and let them pick and choose what they want to do. Like even that Go Fest day 2, a lot of us focused on the rocket stuff, where the people who are not very PvP minded were just like, I'm just going to catch more spawns. I'm just going to get more shinies, whatever. But I think it's a little bit more understandable when they spread it out like that. I agree that it was pretty tough to do everything, to get in rocket battles and do all the TMing. And I don't know, I feel like as stingy as Niantic is with the free passes when they're giving them out like this, like I just feel dumb not using them. And I know that's a psychological trick that they play on us, where it's this like, they're just like, oh, we're giving you something for free, so you should feel like you have to use it. And I fall into it. So I'm just like,
it was generous though. They gave us a lot. There was like the bundle of the 3 remotes and then the 5 in-person ones. And then you get your daily free one anyway. So that's like a good amount of raids for free.
Yeah. If they did it more often, I feel like I wouldn't feel as nasty about it.
Right.
But I know that it's like, as a psych person,
yes,
it's a very like,
the first one's thing. Free.
Yeah, exactly. So they try to get you locked in, like I am. So because
welcome to the hamster wheel.
Yeah, like people with psych, people that study psych, they usually have problems themselves, like myself. Then they try to figure out what's wrong with them. So I'm honestly not even kidding. Like I feel like most people would say that. Like I think a really like nasty thing that I've noticed with the remote passes too, and something that's been talked about, is that we only get to carry 3, right? And I know people always have asked, like, why do we only get to carry 3? Like, why don't we carry like 100? Why don't we carry like unlimited amounts? And it's because Niantic wants you to pay more because they're giving you less. Yes. And it's like this weird trick of like, they're actually manipulating people that don't know how to spend money, because they're gonna manipulate the people that spend the $5 stuff as opposed to the $100. I mean, we just had this conversation, like Jiggly and I just had this conversation the other day. If you're really like maximizing the game, you're spending $100 like a month. That's it. The people that don't are going to spend $5 a week, or like even more, like 10, but as the $5 bundle, like continuously buying the $5 bundle, and they're spending way more than the $100 person. Right. So it's gross.
It is gross.
And it's because we can only carry 3. So like, yep, it's gross. And I like it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Like, if you actually think about it, it's like a business proposition, and they're doing a good job. Like, honestly, that's the whole thing, is they're trying to make money. And I get that things are tough right now and they're trying to make money, but really Niantic, like, we're going to give you our money. Like, please don't take it from us like that. I don't know.
Right. And Max brought up the ridiculous glitch that they've had going on. And I think it's actually at least 2 glitches, maybe 3 now, where there's the glitch where you go in and it's a remote raid and it tells you it's trying to spend a regular pass instead of a remote pass, and it doesn't work and you have to restart the game. There's the glitch where you get the remote raid and it just says go closer to the gym to interact. And there's the glitch where you click on the thing and it tells you to buy passes when you've already got enough passes. And like all of those are just completely bugged, and all of those would be completely alleviated if they would remove the distinction between a remote pass and a regular raid pass, but they will never do that because, as we've stated, they're trying to engage in all sorts of trickery and manipulation. So it is Never going to happen. So they'll instead have a buggy system that is both intended to manipulate and unintended side effects that also screw you over as well. It's good times. Good times. Because half the time people don't complain when they lose their pass. They just eat it.
It
Why
sucks.
can't they just make the raid passes interchangeable? Like, why does it have to be remote and then the in-person ones? Why can't it just be a raid pass? I have like 30 in-person ones I'm sitting on that I'm not really doing much with, because when I go out to raid, it's remote.
Because it's a part of the psyche still. So that's the thing. Like there's no cap for regular passes, but there's a cap for remotes. So they cap the remotes, so you spend more on remotes.
Right. Exactly. So they said they want you to kind of subtly ignore the distinction between buying the bundle that has the large group of regular passes in it that you may or may not even use given your current play pattern, and they want you to focus on how it's a bargain for you to buy the bundle of 3 remote raid passes as sort of like it's that Pokemon pack at the checkout register in Target before they were all cleared out, where like the kid would grab it and the mom would be like, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's just $2.50. You know, we'll spend it," because in that moment it's not a big deal, but it all adds up to the point where like each time you make that decision, like it all adds up. So it's gross, as opposed to before where you could clearly and easily manage your passes and just be like, I've got my free for today, I've kept my free from yesterday, that's 2, and I know how many paid ones I have, and you can just kind of like track it like that and figure out when it's the best deal. But there's no managing that anymore. Like the primary way to get the passes is for the remote passes anymore, and so it's just like you can't manage that. And then they play on people's tendency to basically say, well, it's worth it to me to pay the extra amount for the raid pass to not spend the gas or to not have to go through the trouble of going to the gym. And that's true. It may be worth it to you, but basically you're just paying Niantic for the convenience instead of like paying for the gas or all that stuff. So it's a very, very shrewd thing that they do. And unfortunately unlikely to stop. What's that?
It could be a positive too for those of us who can't get out, like Ethan, who spends a lot of time in his house. It's probably a lot nicer for him to have those opportunities to do the remote. So I'm grateful it exists. Right. I just wish they didn't have to make such like a thing out of it. So turning it into this like yucky thing when it could be a really nice, helpful thing.
Right.
So
exactly.
Gross.
They turn it into a yucky thing. Confirmed. So did you manage to at least TM everything you wanted to or needed to? I think I literally TM'd everything that had frustration, and anything that I have that has it now, just it was acquired afterwards, and there's probably nothing important.
Oh, I TM'd like everything, one of everything.
I kind of view it as an opportunity to clear out my charge TMs from all my overabundance of them, and I'm like, put them to use, clear out my inventory. It's a happy day for me. Niantic can get me in that way too, where I'm just like, oh, I have more inventory.
I'm sure y'all remember when TMs were like this commodity that was hard to buy. So because of that, I have like this anxiety about deleting any of them.
Exactly. But using them feels so much better than deleting them.
Right.
Because you still have that attachment to like a year, 2 years ago, where it was like you literally had to scrape and claw and hope that even the legendary raids would give you at least one charge TM, and you'd be that weird person at the raid going, yes, I got a charge TM. And they're just like, how many rare candies did you get? And you're like, I don't fucking care.
Me.
Oh, I was so used to being that weird person. I don't know if I'll ever be able to purge that part of me.
I was that person too, to be honest. I'm gonna be real. It was funny because like we had this little like group huddled together for raids. Like we had the PvPer. We weren't at all separating, by the way, but we had like the PvPers that would all talk about PvP relevant things, and then we had like our locals, and we would intermingle and stuff. But when it came time to see the rewards, we would all shuffle to our different sides, and PvPers would be like, "Yeah, we got charge TMs," and then the people on the other side would be like, yeah, but rare candies, and we're like, we don't care. Sure, candies don't matter. So like, yeah, I honestly, and that's where they get you with the psyche too. Like the psyche, it's this whole game is a big moral psyche masterpiece that's also a disaster in a dumpster fire. Enjoy your stay. Yay. That is the summary of this stream. It's a masterful psyche moral game that's in a dumpster fire, and we talk about it.
We talk about it. That's right.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah. For me, I TM'd some things. I'm also very much aligned with the mindset of use TMs, don't throw them away. I know like a couple of the PvPers that don't really do it anymore are like fine with throwing them away, and it always gives me anxiety. But yeah, I like these events because it gives me a reason to use them. And I found myself actually throwing out more fast TMs than charge TMs because the charge TMs are so special. But like the fast TMs, like I could throw away like 100 of those and not be phased. But then like the charge TMs, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
we all have psychological pain attached to going through that experience of, I only have 3 charge TMs I've saved up for my Alolan Marowak. If I spend all 3, will I still end up with Flame Wheel? And then you do, and you're just like, I literally have nothing to show for those 3 TMs, and I have to go out tomorrow and hope that I get another 1 or 2.
Exactly. Yeah. You never want to, like, once you've had a taste of like being fortunate with the TMs, you never want to give that up ever. And
right.
So
it's
yeah,
it's like my grandparents who lived through the Depression and like having like just like stockpiles of canned goods that were going rotten in the basement, and you're just like, but they're still nourishing. We still may need that if we run out of money completely. We may need to eat the rotten food.
Honestly, like, you use what you can, like if there's like a natural disaster, like I'm being serious, like if there's like a natural disaster and we have like no food, and like let's say like all the grocery stores are closed and stuff, you eat what you can. Like it's everyone out for themselves.
Ethan's looking at you, Pikachu, on the pillow. Watch out, he's coming for you.
Yeah, watch out. Yeah, even fluff will taste good at a certain point. So yeah, watch out back there. But yeah, we do what we can in this world, in this day and age, and charge TMs will not, for right now, isn't a thing we have to worry about. But maybe in the future, we'll live in a world without them, and we'll need them.
Maybe in the future, Sylph will, aligned with Niantic, create a challenge which will cause even the most well-stockpiled person with more than 150 max revives in his storage to go down to absolutely 0 and feel the pain of having to circle a park to get 1 revive in a loop.
That was a great experience.
We're on to you, Sylph. We're on to you. You like to say that you are the nice part of Pokemon, but you are aligned with Niantic to get us. You're aligned with them.
There's going to be, if there's like a Sylph challenge for Mew, like you have to get a specific move set to beat something, I'm just going to resign. I'm just going to be like, all right.
You have to use your shiny Mew. You have to defeat you have to defeat Giovanni with a shiny Mew and nothing else.
Never. Nope. You win. That's not happening. Oh gosh. Yeah, you win. But yeah, I like today. Today was overwhelming. Today was very much like Kanto Tour. And I feel like, yeah, Alyssa was voicing that earlier, like before this call, or like on the call, but before our stream. It was very, like, it was system overload. Like, there's too much happening. You couldn't really pick a lane. And if you did, there was almost certainly some sort of FOMO that you were feeling. So yeah, that's why I just chose to stay home and do game development and do raids, because ain't no one got time for that.
Ethan was using me as his puppet. He was like, send me things.
Please send me things so I can
send me things, but wait until I finish this raid that some other person sent me. He was the puppet master pulling all the strings.
Please send me raids. Yeah. So yeah, but it was really chill. Like I really enjoyed it because I was doing like just some homework and chilling. So yeah.
I didn't even stop to think. I know I personally got no shinies today. Did anybody get shinies? Like, it seemed to me like when there was the original bird days, like I had no problems getting shinies whatsoever. Like it was just like I think I did better than the advertised rates, but I mean I did plenty of raids and got about what I would expect, and I got zilch today. I got zilch. I haven't gotten a single shiny bird or Mewtwo from any of these raids since they brought them back. So has anybody done any research into whether the shinies got properly turned on or have the proper rates, or is Jiggly just dreaming? Anybody get a shiny? Anybody to this time?
I did.
You got one?
I got two. Yep. The first one I got was the first raid of the day I did, and it was a remote invite from I'm a Peruvian Cat, and it was him and Speediest Chief and me, and then somebody else I didn't recognize.
Name dropping much.
Yes. Well, it was exciting. I was like, screenshot. I like these people. So that was nice. And I was like, it's their shiny luck I just got because I don't have much of my own. So that was nice. Thank you for the shiny luck, people that are good at this game.
I was glad that at least the Articunos and such that came after the hour was, or the 3 hours were over, still had the move for me. And I don't know whether that was how they advertised it or not, but I'm so used to the disappointment of just like the move being turned off instantaneously after the raid hour, where it's like you're doing this and you're just kind of like, yeah, this is going straight to the candy grinder. I'm not even going to transfer it, but at least they left that on.
Yeah, that was nice.
I know, was the balloons. Weren't we supposed to get balloons like every hour?
I thought we were going to get more balloons. I think what it is I think that, again, they are failing to communicate particularly well by having sort of mishmash of different events that look or sound the same, because they had the raid day and they had the frustration stuff going on, and we got the new research for Giovanni, but I think that we're supposed to get the specific day for the rocket stuff. Where is that? I gotta find it. But it's like a different day, and I think they just constantly are just throwing 100 different things out there that sound about the same. Let me pull up. Let's see. Zoe 2 dots, calendar, rocket balloons on Thursday. 6 p.m. rocket balloons. And so it's like we're going to get a Thursday rocket balloon event that just isn't going to coincide with the frustration TM window. I can tell you, I was talking to people who were out doing the raid day, and I was saying to them, by the way, I know you guys don't really use shadows for much, but if you have any shadows that are good, you can TM them right now. And they're like, what? Really? I had no idea. Like the general hardcore people in my community had no idea that that was even a thing. And I don't blame them, because it was honestly like, I think the last paragraph or last line of the way they described the raid day, it wasn't anywhere. The only reason I was obviously aware of it was because, like, you know, Go Stadium made a big deal out of it, and our community obviously was talking about it. But it's like they do such a bad job promoting that. It's like, you know, I would think that these hardcore raiders would be like, yeah, I want a level 50 Shadow Machamp and Shadow Dragonite and Shadow Mewtwo, but like they were just like, no, I just purify them and transfer them. I'm like, what? So they are really still doing
backlash. And then they get backlash for that because they don't know any better. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. I wish they were better at communicating. They're really good at being they're really good at being general. They're good at like walking the line and not and fine print. They're great at being a company because there's fine print. They trick us psychologically. It's like A1 company, but not so A1 head of development. Sorry. I just wish they would fix things for New Zealand. Like, honestly, like they always the Kiwis and the Aussies always get screwed over. It sucks. So
And somebody has to go first, though.
Yeah,
they could
they
maybe
do.
like rotate the time zone or something, but I guess it just makes more sense for them because they're, there.
They do. It makes sense. It totally makes sense. But like, I just want the roles to be reversed one time. Like, I want to feel bad. I want to be like, man, that sucked. And then the Aussies are like, yeah, right. Like, it sucks. So like, yeah,
Feel bad. Like you want to just like take that from them for a little bit.
I really do. Yeah, we all want to. Yeah, you want to take it from them. So I think. Oh, thank you, Jay Jan. Oh, this Embreeze. Thank you, Embreeze, for the sub to Jay Jan. I actually noticed, Alyssa, that there were rocket balloons every hour because I wasn't outside. So I actually got like 3 shadows.
I only started getting rocket balloons at like 1 o'clock. So I did get one at 1 and 2, but I didn't get any before then. And I was definitely out for them because I'm trying to grind rockets right now.
Right. That's so weird. Maybe it's like, I mean, there's so many compiling errors with this game. Like, there's so many things that are wrong. And so, like, maybe it's just one of those things where it's just like, it's kind of coincides with like the raid pass issue where it like doesn't show up right away. And you have to like actually manipulate the app to get it to show up, like click your profile and stuff. So
now it's after midnight.
Yeah. So like I at least noticed that I got at 1 every hour because I was staying at home. But if I was outside, I probably would have only seen 1. So, I mean,
there's definitely a chance I could have missed it, but I'm usually pretty good about noticing them.
No, I don't think you. Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of you missing it, Alyssa. What I'm saying is like I think that you literally missed it. Like there was no balloon. Like it didn't pop up. Like it was late and then it didn't it never came. So
Hunter in the chat just said, was it me or was everyone having trouble having to restart to get stops to show up? And I definitely had that problem. Like we would drive to an area and there would just be nothing and nothing would show up until we force closed the app and reopened it.
Okay.
Yeah, Ethan tried to save me from this one.
Yeah. So question, chat, and Alyssa, did you all update your app? Because if you did, okay. So if you did,
I am in a rocket battle right now. So I will let you know in like a minute.
Okay. Yeah, because that's an error for like it's a bug in the newest patch. So if you guys haven't
updated it, then I have not.
Yeah, you haven't updated. Okay. Well, some people are also experiencing it. It's like kind of a bug it's definitely consistent across all people that have updated, but it's like also kind of like around for people that haven't updated yet. It's like a bug that some people can get and others can't. It's really like, why do they have to make these? Like, we should be hunting these bugs and not the Pokemon. Like, if they're so elusive and rare, like, why are some people getting them and others aren't? I don't know. Like,
thank you for the gift sub, Emery's. I couldn't. I think somebody was saying that it had something to do with doing something particular in the game, maybe using. I can't remember what it was. There was some certain interaction that was supposed to like trigger it, where like if you did this thing, it would mess up the game. But it happens honestly so often. I think it was one of those things where it's basically like if you spin a stop or if you like tap on an encounter, like it's probably gonna screw you up. So you might have to XL a jig. There you go. Yeah, so it is definitely a broken update and a horribly timed update for an event like this where it's like we all know whether we like it or not, and I'm firmly in the camp of do not like, but this is a especially driving rating game where it's like if you drive 3 blocks and you have your game open, there was about a 50-50 chance that by the time you got those 3 blocks, you would not see the gyms and you would have to like reopen your game and actually see what was there. And that was horribly, horribly disruptive to try and actually like play the game reasonably today. It was brutal.
Okay, so I've actually noticed the bug before I feel like it was like even really publicly announced. Like I know it's a thing. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but like what I like to do when I come home from UCR is I'll lock a rocket stop on my phone.
Right.
And I'll take it home with me. Right. And then I'll do the rocket stop at my house or any other location.
Right.
And after that encounter, like after I catch the shadow, nothing loads on my map and I have to reload.
Right. Well, I think what it is I think that for whatever reason, when you have a raid or a rocket stop loaded, if you are moving, it's not loading the the in-game map assets as you're moving. Yeah. It's basically saying, oh, they're engaging in this other part of the game. We're just going to let this part go to sleep and save data or save whatever. And it either takes forever and a day or it doesn't happen at all. I've kind of noticed that if you go from one place to another and then you move just a little bit, like it might start loading stuff. But like if you go home and you're basically like sitting in one place, it's pretty much never going to load. Like you have to like move like the equivalent of, you know, I don't know, 20, 30 feet in one direction or something at least to prompt it to think I'm going to load some map assets.
Yeah, there's some game logic there that is like, I don't know, like I feel like people like maybe hardcore raiders, maybe Andres or like Brandon Tan could answer it better because they like wafu'd a lot back in the day.
Right.
But like I think like essentially it like locks you in place, and then like when you finish the encounter, it's still you're locked in that place and it hasn't loaded. Like basically what you're saying is like it's putting everything to sleep.
Right.
And so if you venture too far away, then it's forcing you to restart because it needs to load the assets and it can't.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically. But yeah, anyways, it was a fun day. ?
It was a fun day for the guy who stayed at home and had things sent to him, and he couldn't make use of any of the free passes they actually gave you except the 3 remote passes. But it was a fun day. It was a good day for a hamster. Good day to be a hamster.
Oh, in terms of shinies, I did get, so the Articuno I sent you from my house ended up being shiny. Yeah, I mean, hooray. And then I got one from El Canadiano, I think as well, which was pretty hype. Which was a Moltres. And yeah, that was it. So just mainly TMing and chilling. And I don't know what else we want to talk about, but it was a lot. But it was fun.
We've got, I know I'm more excited for Krabby Spotlight Hour than you are. You are decidedly not excited about Krabby. You gave me like the typical Zoomer, I'm really not impressed reaction when I was like, oh, Krabby, and you couldn't even notice the excitement in my voice. You were literally just like, great. You couldn't control your lack of enthusiasm.
I believe I said, what a crabby hour. Those were the words I used to avoid, gotta uphold the Apple vibes. But no hate towards Krabby, by the way. I think that the XLs are valuable for rating for Kinglers. But to me, once I do that, the XLs are only used for building my rank 1 Krabby for Great League. That's right, chat. You heard that. I would love to build a rank 1 Krabby for Great League. And yeah, so that is what I will use that on. I hope we have more exciting hours in the future. I think we have Beldum coming up, which
that's a different thing. Once we've got Drowsy on the 9th, Voltorb on the 16th, Surskit on the 23rd, Slugma on the 30th. But the thing you're probably thinking of that they've advertised so well is Incense Day, Psychic and Steel, which is going to be next Sunday. Or not next Sunday, it's going to be on the 14th, where Psychic and Steel Pokemon, including Beldum, are going to be more attracted to incense. And so that we will get as well. It's on there. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried. With just how much content they are pushing out there. I remember when the pandemic came along and they were like, okay, we've got this whole like Tuesday, Thursday thing going. We're going to cut it back. We're going to put them both on the same day. You're going to get the spotlight hour. You're going to get your bonus hour at the same time. People can pick and choose what they want to do. We're not going to make everybody go out. But now we've got these special bonus hours coming on Thursdays, which include the rocket balloons this week and the bonus candy for matching an active mega on the 11th, and more mega raids on the 18th. And Lord knows what is going to be next. All I want is guaranteed and bonus XL candy transfers. That's the bonus I want. I don't want any of this crap they're giving us. And how on earth are you going to match up hatching a matching active mega? Like, that's not even something you can strategize around. That's insane. That's like freaking scratch off tickets.
So I think what this game is becoming is just a really convoluted tabletop game that literally no one can understand except the people that play it way too much. And like, I love being nerdy and geeky, and I love talking Pokemon, but like, come on, Niantic, can we please have some like transparency for once? Like, please, like, you're shoving so much down our throat. And it's cool, like, events are cool, but events are not cool when they're back to back to back to back. Like, can we get a breather? I would love a breather. I would love what Jiggly says. Please, XL candy, just make it permanent. And then also, like, let us enjoy the seasonal spawns. Please stop shoving these spawns down our throats and let us enjoy the seasonal spawns. Please.
Translation: Ethan would like to have Cub Chew Community Day at his house, like we've had when it was winter at first. He wants to enjoy that.
No, I would really like, honestly, like, I remember when we had like the excitement of having the what was it, the Kalos region come in, and we had Litleo and just different things everywhere, and like, people weren't excited to go catch Litleo like myself, because we figured, oh, like, they're just going to be everywhere anyways, and I'm just like going to catch them later. Little do we know that they're never going to bring Litleo to the face of the earth ever again. They're never going to show a light of day ever again. And there's only like 2 on the map ever at one time. And that makes me sad, because
you're reminding me of that horrible Pokemon episode where, like, what was his who's the guy with the red hair, the Team Magma leader? What's his name?
I don't.
Lysander. The Lysander was like torturing a little Litleo in a cage or something like that. It was like in a cage over flames or something, and this poor little terrified Litleo is never going to be let free.
Right. But I just think like breaks would be nice. I know Chad agrees. I know you guys agree. XLs guaranteed would be nice. Breaks would be nice, and it would just change the pace of the game. Like, so right now, It's just event after event after event, and then GBL, event, GBL. It's like, can I just breathe and enjoy this game I used to love and talk with my community and not be continuously harassed by your announcements? I don't know. I just please let me enjoy my Lilios. Yeah. So, and like, honestly, I want to acknowledge the beautiful game art that Niantic has brought into this game, because like the new character models are actually really, really good. They're well made. Like Obstagoon's probably one of the best designs I've ever seen in Pokemon Go. Like, it's actually insane how good it is. So like, why not let us enjoy those character models instead of throwing us all this like stuff that we've had in the past? Like, those are cool. We never see them.
Next week we're going to get Character Model Appreciation Week. Remember, we had Animation Week that nobody understood. Now, thanks to Ethan, we're going to get Character Modeling Appreciation Week. And they're just going to give us a week where now traders, you can examine each of the models in 3 dimensions. You can flip them upside down. You can take your avatar and flip it upside down. It'll have some sort of inadvertent exposure of inappropriate things when you turn them upside down that they won't intend.
And then all the Niantic workers will also take a break in that week. Because it's important for their mental health.
Right.
So we're just admire the character models while they're gone and complain about them. Yeah. So
Cabin Fever has fully taken his mind. They've taken Ethan's mind or mine, Trotter. I think it's fair to say it's taken all of our minds.
Cabin Fever is ridiculous. So yeah. Alyssa, thoughts on breaks? I think you align with that.
So in the past, I have mentioned that I really like the events because I think it's exciting to have like different stuff to do.
Right.
But the last couple events have been exhausting. They're not like fun, easy events. They're like stressful events where you're trying to like manage a million things. So either less events or calm down during the events and give us like a little bit less to do.
Listen to Alyssa. If you're watching this, Niantic, please. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think that's really it. Like, that's all we have to say on the topic of
show's over. Ethan said so. It's over. All right. Tomorrow, what are you going to do about the GBLs now that you've had time to recover, now that you've gone through your N mania, you got your pose, you're a hipster with your pose, you say you're over the pose because the pose was cool before everybody got it. What are you thinking now about, what are your goals for season 7? Are you looking forward to it, or is it just more of the same?
My goals for season
that was directly aimed at you. What's that?
That was directed for me. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it.
No, I know. I like to be nice regardless. I don't know. My goal for season 7, this might come as a shock, is to become better at Sylph now.
Yes.
Because
I'm so happy.
Elisa, not, like I said, not doing it. Like, I'm not tapping that.
Oh my god.
That's a reference.
I think you just went full Hellsprout.
I did. Please don't clip that, chat.
Right. He says that knowing full well they're gonna clip it.
That's special for us, chat. Come on, let's just savor the moment. But like, honestly, I have tears of joy. I'm still gonna like do my best in GBO, but I would like to become better at the show 6, just because I feel like enough time has passed for me personally, learning the mechanics through GBL. I feel like I have gotten quite decent at most things. Quite decent. I'm not good, but I'm quite decent.
Quite decent.
Yeah, quite decent. So I feel like I'm ready to take it to the next level in terms of developing myself and PvP.
You're prepared for your sprouts to be swole.
Exactly.
I'm so excited for this. That's so good.
So I will probably still be a GBL zombie, but I will be more devoted to Sylph because I truly love the format, and I love what it does for the community. And I know we had like Memi on earlier, and I really wish that, like, I know that he said he wasn't like as into the whole Sylph thing and more into the GBL thing. But honestly, I feel like it's good for all of us to get more into the Sylph thing purely because of the fact that it brings all of us together as a community. Mm-hmm. So that is what I will say on that. And yeah, you guys do your thing. If Elisa's cool to you, that's sick. Amolga's cute.
I think we just need to have a sequence where Ethan says Alyssa, Elisa, Eliza for Eliza Noble, and we can like just hear him saying like all of those and just like hear the difference between them.
No, there are enough clips on this channel. Yeah. So okay, maybe I'll think about that, Reese. I've actually there's been a couple seasons where I've like started that path, and then I'm like 04, 04, 04, or like 14, 14, 14. I'm just like, okay, you know what, GBL, you're gonna treat me like that? I'm gonna run meta now. But maybe I'll just do it this time because it's better to just power through than not run fun things. So yeah.
Damn straight.
Okay. So Alyssa, what are your thoughts on GBL?
No.
No. Awesome.
I don't think it's something so I'm competitive, and as much as I try to not be this season, like I know I said I wasn't going to practice, and I'm really not practicing. I'm not obsessing over team building. Like my Labyrinth team, I slapped together in 5 minutes, and it had like glaring holes, but I was like, whatever. Like, we're going to run with this. I know what my weakness is. I can work around it. We're cool. So, and I didn't want to put more of my energy into like trying so hard and then getting disappointed if I don't do well. But that's happening anyway. I just can't do that in GBL because it's not a format I feel is fair. And I can't invest myself into something that's going to frustrate me like that. So yeah, that's a pass. I'll still do some battles here and there for resources or for fun when I'm bored, if I'm in a car ride or something like that. But it's definitely, I'm not going to try to grind to rank 24 or spend all of my free time doing that. I'd rather spend my free time talking to people in this community or going out and actually playing the game or doing Sylph tournaments.
I just hope Niantic doesn't crack down on people making bona fide amazing content like E and I doing our synchronized battles, because the synchronized battles that we did with Dr. Trotter were freaking content gold.
And Fish also.
Yes, Fish. I all of them were great. I just feel like it was like Dr. Trotter was born for that moment. It was like he's been practicing for that moment in his head, like it was going to happen, and somehow he got that call and he was just ready, and he never knew that was really going to be a thing, but he was ready. It was amazing.
It was good.
Amazing. It was great.
Very good. Yeah.
So we're going to, before next week, we will have already had Fletchling Day the day before. And we knew this last week, but Alyssa wasn't here to talk about it. And, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be another community day. It's, you know, catch XP, which at this point, I think we value a lot more highly than we did in community days past. But any passing thoughts on Fletchling as a choice before we pass along that as old news, Alyssa?
Fletching is, but I'm going to play the hell out of that day. Like, the hell out of it. I'm going to excellent throw my little heart out and egg the entire day and do everything I can do to rack up some XP, because I am yet again XP capped, or I will be at 45 when I cross over tomorrow. And I feel like I'm so behind like everybody I play with. So the grind is fun though. Like it's been really fun, like having a purpose, like going out and like reaching goals instead of just going out to catch stuff.
Right. I do think it's important to acknowledge that kind of balance that Niantic does have to strike, where it's like, I agree that the XL grind is difficult, and I agree that some of this stuff is a little bit wacky, but like, if you don't have some purpose to play this game, like it gets really boring and repetitive. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the things that they've changed more than I dislike them. Who is hyped for the shiny mustache monster? I am excited for the exciting shiny nose pass / pro pass.
Yeah.
We all need that in our lives. We should get that on Tuesday the 9th. Obviously, only PvP relevance is just the fact that, you know, occasionally people will use it if they're not allowed to use Bastiodon or something of that sort anymore. But maybe, just maybe, it'll get some move love. We got no move love for this GBL season at the start. Mm-hmm. So we were theorizing on that, whether we were going to get it at the beginning, whether they're standardizing on the mid-season change now, or whether it's just all kind of playing it by the seat of their pants. I think that signals now seem to be pretty clear that they are going to do something mid-season. And I mean, as long as that's what they're going to do on a standard basis and we can kind of rely on it, I guess I'm all right with that. I love the move changes every time they happen for the most part, but I know it can be a little bit exhausting if they do it too often. So, what about, we talked about the Therian form stuff coming on the 16th. And we talked about last week about the fact that there was the code in the game regarding the form changes. And we also talked about, I don't know if we'd talked about this yet, but there's going to be a Weather Week event from Wednesday the 24th. Jeez, so hard to keep track of, to Monday the 29th. How do they come up with this stuff? So we've got a Weather Week event that's going to focus on things that have to do with the weather. If you had to hazard a guess, Alyssa, which one of these things is more likely, or are we going to get both, where we have some sort of connection to this code for changing forms on your Pokemon? Do you think it'll be changing something to a Therian form, changing your cast form based on weather? What do you think we might get out of this?
Oh God, I have no idea. I've learned to be cautious when what Niantic is doing, because I am almost always like way off base. So yeah, I don't know. I think the swapping forms thing is kind of odd, and I would be shocked if they weren't just entirely different like Pokemon to catch. So this whole thing is mind-boggling for me.
I know Ethan was clearing up for me, I think yesterday, something that I had heard before, but I never quite knew the details, that apparently in main series Pokemon games, not only are obviously the cast forms just one thing, but apparently the shiny forms of the non-normal form cast form were just non-existent. So Pokemon Go is going to be breaking new ground by giving us the shiny versions of these things that previously did not exist, right?
It's not the first time that they've done this sort of breakthrough thing. Obviously, with Meltan and Melmetal, that those things were never in the main series, and supposedly now they're in Gen 1, but they're Gen 8. I don't like, it's like a Gen 1, Gen 8 thing. I don't know how that interacts. But if you haven't seen them, the shinies are a little wacky. I was looking at them. I think that's exactly what King said too. I was like kind of just watching, as I do for the Cindy art. By the way, Cindy, if you're in chat, excellent job with your art. Love your art. Huge fan. But they're a little wacky. but they're released, so or they're gonna be. So, yeah, that's at least something. They might even be released in the games, and then hopefully Pokemon Go doesn't get a bad rap for it, because they're like the main series people might be like, oh, this is what they got in Pogo, like this is what Niantic came up with. Okay. So yeah, hopefully it's not like that, but maybe it will be. Some people really like them, but I don't know how I feel about them. So
yeah, I mean they're fine. I guess I'll wait until I see them in all their 3D glory. But I think it's kind of strange that the Sunny cast form literally looks like it's got like a sunburned face. So like how can the Sunny cast form get sunburned? It doesn't seem like it should.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a little strange, but yeah, it's I didn't really get to step in on Fletchling.
Go for it. We know
But
you love the burb.
I love birds in general. Birds, like, shout out Birdwatcher Hawk if you're here in chat. I might join you as Birdwatcher Ethan because my name's a fraud anyways. But like I used to really actually like birdwatch when I was little, but that's a different story. But Fletchling is adorable. I have an affinity for all bird Pokemon. Fletchling is very cute. Talonflame's a little scary, but not to me, but I mean like maybe to small children. But Fletchinder and Fletchling are super cool. Their shinies are good, so I'm excited for Community Day as well. And the XP is huge. Alyssa, XP, very big. Excellent throws. You mentioned that. All right. Yeah. Practice.
Man. I can't even tell you how excited I am right now. I just realized that all those stupid Kanto things have gone finally from my today screen, the checklist that would not go away. It just said ended, and I have to scroll through like 17 pages of ended tasks before I could get to my things and gyms to feed. All I want to do is feed my things and gyms berries so that I can not get an XL candy, please. Thank you.
How are you guys doing on the 151, like all the different types? Is anything evading you?
I think as one would expect, the dragons. I need dragons. It says I need darks, but I'm not too worried about it. And I need a few more ice.
Yeah. I think dragon is the only one that's setting me back. I need like a ton.
I need ghost still. I need ice. I need dark. I need dragon. I need fighting. I don't go out much.
It helped that I had a mischievous nest across the street, so I could do the ghost pretty easily. But yeah,
right.
I'm sure I'll stumble on a Houndour nest or something silly like that. And it won't be an issue. But speaking of birds, I was disappointed, but I guess it's not that bad. But Giovanni is recycling the birds. How do we feel about Giovanni recycling the birds instead of giving us what I thought was promised? Well, I don't know what the wording was, but I swear they told us he was going to be sporting new legendaries, and new to me does not mean third time we've seen them, but
yeah. New does not mean recycled, Niantic. Yeah. So
this is part of their environmental initiative to recycle legendaries to be kind to the environment.
I see. What environment are they being kind to? Because clearly it's not us. Yeah. So we're kind of Niantic Monka but I guess we'll take what we can get.
Good little hamster.
We'll take what we can get. If you honestly, if you didn't get like 5 Mewtwo's by now, or 3, I think you can get 3, right? It's something like 3. Is it 3 or 4? I don't know how.
If you hold on to your Giovannis, you mean?
Yeah. If you hold on to all of them, kudos, because you can just get stacked on Mewtwo's. I think today was the last day, right? Something, yeah, or not today. It was like, I don't know when the last day is. I don't think for these things. Don't listen to me. But
I have
like,
no clue.
I have no clue.
I'm not a
but
Mewtwo stacker.
yeah, I'm not a Mewtwo stacker, but I know. I mean, Andy's not going to talk in chat. I've tried, but he's not going to. But if he were, he would correct me. But yeah, good luck on your Mewtwo hunts, you Mewtwo hoarders, because that's way more worth it than the birds. And the birds are only useful for PvP, except if you have if you're Fleece King and you have a Hundo, Shadow, Zapdos, that's pretty freaking sick if you ask me. But other than that, it's not amazing. Shadow Moltres, I guess you could use as well, but I feel like they're mainly for Moltres is for sure raid attacker, and then Zapdos and Articuno PvP. I feel like they're just mainly for PvP though. So yeah.
If I get a PvP Articuno that's better, I'll feel better, just because I know that as soon as I made a regular PvP Articuno for Great League, Alyssa set me straight and told me that Shadow was the only way to go, and that I made a horrible mistake. So
I mean, it's not a horrible mistake. Shadow was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Wait, so I made a mistake as well then. Dang.
It's okay. We know Alyssa's got it on lockdown compared to us.
I think rankings wise, the Shadow one is actually further down.
Right.
But
yeah, it's a little less bulky.
But you dig deeper and you figure out what matters, not the rankings.
Yes.
Behind the numbers.
It's more beautiful.
I don't remember where I used it, when I used it. It was recently. But yeah, I think it was great. I really enjoyed it.
It's beautiful.
How many balloons do you think that we'll get on that Thursday in 1 hour? How many? I mean, if it says they're going to be appearing more frequently, do you think it's just going to be nonstop? There's just always a hovering balloon. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this and I'm just trying to figure out. It seems like a really bad idea.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm trying to get that platinum medal now.
And then there'll be me, and I'll have my radar out, and I'll spend the entire time trying to do a Sylph challenge, and I'll get nothing. I've still gotten stonewalled on those. We do have a new challenge out, the Mirror Challenge, and Ethan was kind enough to let me know the moment it came out, and we were doing it for the Arlo one, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this. I'm gonna be one of the first people to get it after PvP Steve, who came up with it. And then I submitted it, and then I read the instructions, and it said none of your Pokemon can faint. And Ethan's like, yeah, I didn't see that part. So I thought that I had broken new ground on that. Are you bothering to do any of those, Alyssa? I'm guessing that that's not something you've hit yet.
I haven't started that yet because I've been so focused. Every time I go out, all I do is rockets. This level is friggin' exhausting. I'm never going to want to see another rocket again when I am finished with it. I kind of just want to buy them and be done with it. But I'm not going to do that. I made a promise to myself. As far as the challenges go, I want to do them. I haven't made the time to yet, but I'd really like to. They look really fun. They look neat on your little traveler card thing. So
I just know I don't want to see any more Hippowdons, though. If you start to do them, you'll start to learn that Hippowdon is the enemy of all. Hippowdon and anything Cliff has right now. Cliff needs to rotate out of freaking Aerodactyl because it just smashes everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
Had a lot of those today.
Yes, they are everywhere. Searching for Legends, March 9th to March 14th. Journey to search for legendary Pokemon. That's when they are releasing the Compass Pokemon Shiny Nose Pass. What do we think? It doesn't really say what that involves. It just says searching for legends. What on earth is that actually supposed to mean?
If it means new Pokemon, I'm out.
If it means new Pokemon, you're out?
Or if it means new legendaries, I'm out. Because I already know their definition on that.
Oh, it's going to be recycled legendaries?
It's going to be Lugia and Ho-Oh or something. I don't know. For the 10th millionth time. without Aeroblast and Earthquake, of course. So I have no idea. So
but we are supposed to get a surprise mega on the 16th. What do you think the surprise mega is going to be? Do you think that this time it will actually be Aggron, or do you think that they will release another troll like that and give us something else? I would love to see something like Mewtwo or what else? What do you want to see? What do you think we're going to get? Uh-oh, is he talking off camera?
We want to talk to his mom too.
Yeah, hi scientist mom. We love you.
Hi. Wait, could you repeat that question?
What do you think or want to see? Do you think we'll see, or do you want to see for the quote surprise mega on the 16th? What do you think's next in line?
Aggron.
You were convinced it was Aggron last time. Are you saying that to ward away the spirits of Aggron, or you really want it?
Aggron.
You really want it? You just won't.
I'm aggro for Aggron.
Aggro for Aggron.
Yeah.
What do you want, Alyssa?
Can we get like a Mega Kangaskhan?
Yeah, that's a thing. Mega Kangaskhan's definitely a thing. That'd be amazing.
I just like it when the little baby hops out and does his own thing.
That would be awesome. That would be quite involved though, considering that it's a regional. I feel like they would have primed us more with that, but I'd love to see it.
I would just love to see him do his own little baby things.
I agree.
Yeah, just walk around on the map. That would be great. Just like prance around, doing his little thing. That'd be cool.
Oh, I know what I completely glossed over. The special metas for GBL, which some have accused of being somewhat derivative of Sylph metas. We've got the one where you can't use like Great League Remix and Retro Cup. Retro Cup is going to exclude Dark Steel and Fairy, and Great League Remix is going to essentially figure out, they're just going to take the numbers, I guess. They're going to talk to YTX and they're going to say, what are the 10 most used things, YTX? And he'll say, here's what they are. And he will troll them and he will tell them that it was that actually everyone used Pikachu, and Pikachu will be excluded from the meta and scientists will be upset.
I will.
But
outrage.
I'm a little bit concerned at the idea that it's just going to blanket be the top 10 and that there's going to be like some obvious horrible solution there where it's just like everybody has to get some horrible expensive Pokemon that they didn't want to build before. But
Gressel.
It'll be everyone will have to run Drifblim and Vullaby to get rid of all the new stuff or all the stuff that's not there. But I don't know. It's something. It's different. It's I like to see something new, but it's GBL, so I don't have much faith. Retro Cup, it definitely takes out a lot of the similar things that get taken out in Vortex. Not exactly the same things. Obviously, it takes out dark types. So we're not going to be seeing Zweilous and Mandibuzz there. We will be seeing a different group of things. I'm sure that they're on PvPoke. I have not actually looked at that. Let's see. Surely it's
Retro Cup is.
Let's see. What is the PvPoke take on Retro Cup? Retro Cup Lickitung XL, which again it just doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Frostlass, Cresselia. I think they're trying to design metas that PvPoke cannot crack because these things don't exist. Nobody has Lickitung, so the entire meta is skewed.
So I don't know if you noticed, Jiggly, but I put a poll up for Thursday for the balloons.
I did not.
And the winner was 0, and we're gonna get error 6 instead. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. We're going to get dodged by the Team Rocket members. That's going to be fun. So, we had this whole conversation about dodging when really Niantic's dodging us this whole time.
Niantic
Anyways, I think it's a little ironic, guys. It's kind of silly. Anyways, back to the grass hole hate. I mean, what? I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I think that this meta is going to be interesting with XLs. And that's all. That's all I have to say. I don't know how it's going to play out because I really haven't looked into it. And it's GBL. And like, yeah, that's really all I have to say. And that's what we've said. So
I'm kind of trying to figure out how Niantic is viewing Lickitung. It's like at some point in time, they had to take notice of the fact that Lickitung was a thing and that it was rare. And they've been teasing us with the idea that you were going to get them in the Kanto Festival. And essentially you really didn't. And I've seen no indication that they really want to give us more. But there it is. It's gross little tongue that Alyssa loves so much, just dangling out there, just saying, look at me, I'm at the top of the meta. So it's not quite like they're manipulating it like Metacham, where they're just like, you have to work so damn hard because you just can't get it. But I know that they've got to be plotting something to manipulate their hamsters.
Eggs.
Oh God.
Rockers.
So they're going to be in eggs, and we have to mega evolve a Pidgeot that will match its normal typing to maximize our candy, and we have to hatch as many 2K eggs as possible within one window to get Lickitungs during that period of time, or we will not be able to build it. FOMO confirmed.
FOMO. Man. Like anything but going outside. Am I right, guys? Like, man. Why, like, oh my gosh. This pandemic's made us so lazy, but like, it's like for good reason. I don't know. Yeah. It's, some of us have actually, like, my mom, she told me today, she was like, how many, like, she loves to do this because she knows I play Pokemon. So she's like, every day she'll be like, how many steps did you get in E? And I'm like, maybe like 1,000. And then she's like, oh, I got 10,000. And I was just walking around doing house chores. So, and I'm like, all right, Mom, I need to strap my phone to you.
I thought you were going to be like, I need to help you swim.
He's learning the wrong lessons. You may not be the good apple after all.
Kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. I need to help out. So that way I can also get a whole bunch of kilometers as well. I honestly, like, I do help out though. I take out trash. I take out trash.
You've now reached the segment of Bellsprouts where Ethan is going to list his chores.
Yeah.
Rationalize why he moves so little.
I take out trash on Thursdays. But this Thursday is going to be Rocket Day. So
you're going to take the trash to a dumpster in town. You're going to deliver it far away from your home so that you don't have to have the inconvenience of the trash man coming out.
Yeah. So I don't just take out the trash in real life. I also take out just kidding. I'm not going to say that. I'm just kidding. But I do my normal chores. It's just that I don't move very much compared to my mom. She loves moving. Like, she loves like gardening and like she takes like our dog out on walks, and so I just really wish that she played the game, but I also understand because I don't want her to be a hamster, and I know she isn't a hamster and never will. Go on.
Oh man!
If she watches this back, I'm dead.
Does she ever watch it?
No, she's never watched it.
Oh, good. I've said bad words here, and I don't want your mom knowing that I do that.
Well, I'm sure she thinks you're fine you're fine. So I think like I've told her that you admire her a lot, and she's like, "Ah, that's really nice."
I do.
And yeah, and then she still never opens gifts because she doesn't play Pokemon.
I'll still send her the pretty ones for when she does.
There you go. Yeah. So, but yeah, we've segued a lot. We were talking about Lickitung. So for Lickitung, I'm gonna strap my phone to my.
Sorry. I'm just, as soon as I hear Ethan say he's gonna strap something, and we're talking about all the quotes that get taken out of context, my mind goes in the wrong.
No more quotes out of context. We don't need more of those going around. It'll ruin my reputation. Just kidding. I don't have one. But Lickitung, like, when is it gonna be an event? Like, when is there gonna be, like, we need like a normal type event. Has there ever been a normal type event? Like Skitty?
I don't think we need to celebrate things that are normal. Let's celebrate Pidgey. Let's celebrate all the normal types. Do you like things that are brown?
Oh my gosh.
The thing that I find so suspicious, though, segues into what I think is one of the last things that's actually kind of relevant at the moment, which is that in this GBL season, they are explicitly saying you'll earn more Candy XL than normal when you catch these Pokemon in Go Battle League encounters. Poliwhirl, Flaffy, Pupitar, Medicham, Scraggy, Galvantula, Lampent, and Stunfisk. So basically, they are gating several of the things that people might want in terms of XLs, like Stunfisk, like probably Chandelure for raiding, Galvantula, Scraggy or Scrafty for Ultra League, and of course Medicham that we've already largely ground, or I've ground the XLs for, but and Pupitar, so Tyranitar. So people are gonna want to XL these things, and it's not exclusive to PvPers, so there's going to be that push to get on the hamster wheel just to XL your Tyranitars and your Chandelures.
Well, can we have a normal type event? Like, can we just celebrate normalcy? Like
that I think that would turn the Pokemon Go cult community on its head if we had to celebrate things that were normal. I don't know that we could handle it.
Well, normal's just a setting on a dryer. and a laundry machine. Like, that's all normal is. Like, it's normal. Being normal isn't a thing because we're all different.
Normal is there's not a dryer. Why is there a wash Rotom but there's not a dryer form of Rotom? I mean, there's a fan, but there's not a dryer.
Because you could line dry stuff.
True.
So there needs to be a line dry.
There needs to be a clothesline Rotom.
That's not like an electronic thing.
It's not, but it could be if they were electrical poles. And you were drying your clothes on electrical poles.
Speaking of electrical, I did neglect to say anything about the Charge Up event from the 16th to the 22nd when we are going to get something new released, and I suspect that it's going to be the Dynamo line.
Right.
Who really knows for sure, but seems likely. Electric event. Ethan can get on the hamster wheel and beg Niantic for a normal type event, but we're gonna get an electric event. And
I guess Moo's right. We did have a Mincino event recently. By the way, I'm glad that, like, Moo, I hope you're doing okay. I don't know if you guys were aware, but Moo quite recently as well, like, I hope you're okay with me saying this, Moo, but Moo has suffered a lot recently. He had a house fire on stream, and he was able to make it out okay with his dog, but he's really in need of help. And so if we could support him in this hard time, it'd be very appreciated. It's been a wild week for sure, Moo.
Wow.
I'm glad that you're okay. At least in chat, you're in chat, so I hope you're okay.
Right.
And
yeah, these are crazy times. Someone else that was in chat earlier that I know is more of one of my Twitch Sings people, but Chantry was in chat earlier, and I know that she got flooded out of her home in Houston as part of the craziness that's going on down there. So I sympathize for sure. I let us know how things are going, and if there's anywhere to spread information, if anybody needs to.
There is a Patreon on that's in the Team Rocket Discord, because Moo's now part of Team Rocket. Okay. So if anyone's looking to support, there is a Patreon. So, and that's been created recently. So, and I could even post that in chat as well. I will do that. But yeah. Let me see. Let me get that actually real quick before I forget about it. But we did have the Mincino event, and we did have the Mincino event. That's not a normal type of event, though. We could have more normal.
We want more. We want more normalcy. For us to want normalcy in our lives.
Yeah, this is a crazy world. Yes. What? So electric type. So Tiny Mo is coming into the game.
That's my guess. That is my thought. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's supposed to really hold much purpose. I think in most of the games, certainly in the card game, it was like a supporting kind of card, and I think in the main series, it's more of a supporting kind of thing. So I don't think it really has the stats to make a splash, but we shall see.
Electros could be interesting, but I don't know how they're going to deal with. They would have to somehow at some point deal with abilities. I don't know how they're going to do that, but like status effects and abilities is something that they're going to have to tackle at some point. I don't know when they're going to do that, but there's some Pokemon that just can't exist without them, and Kecleon is one of them. So
right.
Yeah, and it's like Ditto can't either. Like there's in Zorua, there's a couple ones that just can't exist. So I don't know how they're going to do that quite yet. So no Moo. Sorry, no Moo. We're not Snorlax Charm.
Oh God.
No.
Oh well, it has been good having Alyssa back, and even though we know you had to endure having a bandage on in stream, we appreciate you toughing it out and showing off even in your unbowed form. It's a form change. It was Alyssa bow form changed into Alyssa bandage form, but
I just don't want to have like too much going on, you know. Less is more.
It's not even Alyssa. It's not even like bad, to be honest.
It's pretty bad under it.
Oh well. we can't see that though.
Yeah. Like my children, we went out to friends for dinner last night, and one of my kids was like, "Mom, you can't go like that."
Oh jeez.
You. Bandage back on.
Oh man. Oh, that's crazy.
I'm sorry. That like actually puts things in perspective for me.
That's right. Whenever I tell Ethan the rude things my children need to do, he's just like, that sounds like something I might actually say to my mom. I feel bad now.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, thank you, License. Thank you for the resub. Appreciate it. We are just about to head out. Since we started the stream with the interview, and we briefly had Wallower in, and we had to kind of speed through some of that, I want to mention that I'm going to have paint on the walls tomorrow in the studio. There will actually be paint put on the walls. I am praying that I will have flooring by the end of the week, and maybe I can stop spewing about this thing that no one's ever seen and no one is going to believe me even exists. So
I'm interested. I want to know about these design choices. I am interested.
What we need, and what I think Alyssa wants too, is a house tour. We need whatever the Jiggly Mansion tour. We need the Jiggly.
It's not a mansion. That's
it's
for
a
sure.
mansion.
Will you just watch it dry out? Yeah, I'll watch the paint dry. Exactly. I'll be down there. I'll be live streaming. Watching the primer dry tomorrow night.
You could do a duo stream with.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you could do a duo stream with Alleging Tuna. Tuna, if you're still in chat, so you could do a duo stream with him, and you could be the paint dry, and Tuna could be the watching the egg hatch, and you could both duo stream. And then Tuna could be like, "Do you like watching paint dry?" And then just like you, and then paint is drying.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Wow. We could put up polls. Which one do you want to have blown up on screen? Do you want the egg hatching or the paint drying?
Exactly. Choose one.
Good Lord. But I'll have to talk to you off stream, Alyssa. We are trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for decorations and soundproofing. And right now, I'm thinking about some sort of a decorative sylph hexagonal pattern thing, and trying to figure out what colors and stuff I'm going to do. So, yes, this will be good stuff. So, I think at this point we can throw off to. I see London is on. I don't see a whole lot of the other usual suspects on. So let's send on over there, give him your love, and we will see you later in the week, maybe for paint drying streams, maybe for real stuff. We'll see. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.